1. You're thinking for 5, thinking for 4.
Like Rush is for sure communicating more than some of the other guys. Yeah,
makes sense.
Now, Blame, I know you're not alone in your preparation and your resources required to go into these big games. I think you've got one of the best coaches and unknown coaches in the scene right now. Keita, he's a good friend of mine. I was wondering if you could tell us how he assists you and what makes him such a good Counter-Strike mind.
I think the good thing about him is like he does whatever the team needs. So, and this team needs a lot sometimes. So
yeah.
He will do individual stuff with some people because they need something special. And when we do anti-strat, then I will tell him exactly what I need. And if someone else on the team sometimes will ask him like, I want to know exactly what they do in my spot, then he will fix that. Like, so he basically just does whatever the team needs, and that's like a lot sometimes. So,
funnily enough, back in my day in the Source days, he used to find smokes for my team as well. Right? It's like 10 years ago, Keita used to do the same thing. So I know how good he is at that sort of thing. That's why I want to do.
I love it.
Like he's setting me like a lot of stuff like late night, like, hey, can you look at this strat, or hey, can you look at this smoke? Like, can we use this? And like, so he gives me a lot of ideas usually. And then I'm trying to like take the idea and make it into like a strat or something like that.
Great stuff.
Yeah, dude, this has been a very insightful interview. Blame, thank you very much for your time, and I'm looking forward to watching you guys on the server tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's Blame F, leader, in-game leader of Complexity. I feel like leader, it does summarize him, but I want to make sure I specify he's leading them in and out of the server.
Yeah, I think that with somebody like him who had a very quick trajectory to this point, right, you have to look at where his career started. He was playing in Epsilon, right? Then obviously X-Epsilon, that happened a lot of times right there. But he was playing within those realms, right? And then to get this offer to come on through when he was on Heroic, I believe it was, to go over to move to North America, to take this up, to go be part of Jason Lake's big project. It's a big move, right? So things are looking decent for Complexity right now. But like I mentioned before, this is a must-win for both these teams. So only one of them can walk away with a victory here tonight. But if one of them does, they're setting themselves in a chance to actually qualify for the next stage.
We saw the disparity in the rankings there in the interview. So we've got Complexity ranked 30th right now, and Na'Vi ranked at number 1. So just by logic alone, you would say that they're going to be the favorites going into this one.
Yeah, they should be, but we've kind of had to throw logic out the window, right, with the Pro League so far, because we've had so many up and down results. If you look at this Group B right now, Fnatic are at the top. We'd be expecting that name up there, right? But Forza there in number 2, right? And Bigger in number 3. You've got the likes of North, Complexity, and Na'Vi all below them, right? Now, this group is still completely wide open, and look, I'm not going to break down all the different ways that this could happen now because I'd have to be here for an hour. We need a whiteboard. You guys get a little bit bored, probably fall asleep. So are the viewers at home. But there's still an opportunity for these teams to get on through, and it starts right here. We're lucky it's the hot match.
Yeah, I mean, Boomich said it as well. He knows that this is a must-win game. So both teams, their chances of advancing to the next stage of competition rest on a best of 3. And what better time than now to start talking maps? The 3 maps will determine their fate in terms of keeping their head above water.
They did say Dust 2 is almost certainly happening.
Yeah, again.
Boomich did bring that on through.
It's a problem, though, because it's a pretty good Complexity map as well, right? So we've got the bans on screen here. I think the Complexity, knowing that Na'Vi will pick Dust 2, won't pick it themselves, they might go for something like Inferno, which is actually one of these Complexity maps where, there we go.
That makes sense.
You have to go all the way back to, remember that major when Stan was on the team?
Yep.
It was a completely different roster then, right? But they did it on Inferno. Having that Inferno pick here, Na'Vi, when they had Zeus, I wasn't in love with their Inferno. It was very
There was that period where they were considered the world's best Inferno team for like a few months with Zeus in their ranks.
That was strange.
A very small period.
That's when Electronic and Zeus had the awesome crossfire on the A bomb site, and Simple was killing everybody. Now it's a little bit weird that Boomich and Flamey hold over towards B. Even though it worked at Katowice, I'm not completely sold at it. We did get Dust 2, and Nuka's the 3rd. So Na'Vi with Nuke. That's not something you traditionally see, but in the last year, it's something that they love to play.
It's been great for them, I think, recently. Like, I always, like, for the reasons you've just echoed there, I feel like I've always get nervous when they pick Nuke, but recently it's looked very good for them. I don't think they're the most tactically deep team on that particular map, but the fragging ability and the way they kind of space themselves out, it always seems to come together in the end on the T side especially.
How many kills did Boomich get in that game? I
was about to start talking about the Boomich performance, grand finals of Katowice, where he just, I mean, they completely destroyed Astralis. What was the final Nuke scoreline? 16-3?
Against Astralis, it was 16-5 on Nuke there. That was in the semi. And now I'm trying to find Trying to find that grand final result. So give me a moment here.
Take your time. Well, we do have some results on your screen.
It was, they dumpstered them in the laps they won, right? So it couldn't have been much further away, to be fair. But yeah, Na'Vi, the absolute favourites going into this one. I think the map pool is pretty standard, but they'll be happy with it. The fact we have Dust, 2, Inferno, and Nuke going in there.
All right, I found it. Sorry about the little bit of input delay there.
Right.
That was a 16-4 victory to Na'Vi. And that's where Boomich had 32 kills. So in a 16-4.
Not bad.
Right?
I usually go for 35 myself.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
but 32 is not too bad.
But yeah, okay. So Inferno, the first map, I already touched on that banana hold. That's one thing that you can look to exploit if you are complexity, right? They feel a little bit janky over there. But the problem is, I think like Na'Vi have to take this super duper serious, right? If in these other games, they maybe 1 or 2 players were lacking a little bit mentally because of this whole feels like online scrim situation that we heard from Boomich. I think that's got to be gone now, out the window, right? Yeah. Whereas Complexity will have a little bit more experience playing online Counter-Strike. They had to play through all the minors, which they weren't successful in. And then they went to the closed qualifier for the minor. Then they made it. That was online Counter-Strike. But it feels like their woes online. We were talking about them at Blast. We were like, oh, yeah, they're good on LAN, not so much online. So I think they're going to have to turn that around here this evening if the North American squad with European players wants to have any opportunity.
Yeah, and I think actually, you know what, this is an interesting conversation to start, is that there is some nuance to what Blaine was talking about regarding how his players have too much attention on their crosshairs,
of course,
not enough on the big picture. I mean, I imagine that both of you would expect that from a new introduction to the world-class Counter-Strike.
It wasn't a team that was kind of whittled away from a block of wood and we felt we can bring all the elements we need in. It's kind of like, right, who's available right now? Who is a star player? Frag? Who is a big name that we can sell to our executive at this point and say, this is a team that's going to cause a stir in the Counter-Strike global landscape. But generally speaking, it's going to be very difficult to even picture the fact that all of these guys will be willing to fill every single role required, considering the big names you've brought in, a lot of star power, a lot of big personalities that all want to be the star of the show.
A good lump of clay, though, Chad, right?
Definitely so, right? If we go through the pieces within this team, you guys had the roster up on your screen there before. Now, I mentioned Config. You'll all remember him. He played with the Danes back in the day. He was on North rosters, Dignitas rosters, played with Magus, right?
Rumored to be the Astralis player that could have been.
That was all on the cards because he's a fantastic player. His issue was his attitude, right? Now, Duncan did a bit of a config, I don't know what you'd call it. I'm not a writer. He wrote an article about config, right? And the fact that, you know, his career hasn't gone as it could. And that kind of acted as a way for config to see, oh, hey, look, you know, I have been missing the mark here. So that kind of revitalized him and his attitude as an individual. Obviously, we have Rush, who was part of Cloud9, who won that major. I feel like we're getting more and more out of him the more I see him in this team. He's delivering a little bit more.
I feel like the major curse is the one that hit him the most. Like after winning that major, I feel like there's a lot of teams and players that kind of dropped into obscurity after doing that, like getting that, lifting that trophy, Gambit. Not really having much after. Yeah, exactly. Gambit, NIP, trying to think of some other teams that did that as well.
Recently, Avantgarde and Ents.
Avantgarde, you know what I mean? Like you get to the final, they just drop into it because it's difficult to recover. So the amount of preparation and whether it's success or disappointment, the result and the major can have a massive knock-on effect.
Yeah, I mean, Gambit Immortals, both disappearing into complete obscurity after Krakow. That one rings completely true to your theory. A little update for you guys at home, because I know you're probably sitting there saying, analysts, stop talk. It's 4 minutes past 10. We are waiting for one player from Na'Vi to connect. Just having a couple of connection issues, so we can continue our conversation. I'm not complaining because it's a very bloody good one. You were talking about complexity in their pieces.
So we were at Rush, so we covered him as an individual. But he's obviously more of a supportive element, and we had the opportunity over there in London to listen to their communication. He was the guy keeping everybody calm when they needed to, when situations was getting a little bit. He is the most experienced member of the team. He's won a major, right? So he kind of brings that to the squad. And then you have to look at Poison. He was, I don't know if you guys caught the interview that Trace did with Jason Lake just the other day. Poison was in a car crash the night before he did that. Jason Lake did that interview, apparently. So hopefully he's all right.
I assume if he's playing tonight, he must be.
He said it was Jason Lake. I think he said it was a pretty bad one as well. So but we'll have to ask that question if we get Poison with a post-game interview or something. Then we have Obo, who's someone who's looked like he's had a few struggles, but he has the steepest learning curve of everybody in the team, right? He was kept around in the complexity team from the remnants of the old one by Jason Lake, and obviously it looks like he wanted to make him maybe a franchise player in the sense of he is so young, he is a talent, and we can mold him and maybe have him as the front of the brand.
Yeah,
that's one way to look at
it. I mean, he's definitely being touted to be the complexity. What do you call them? Where like Fnatic and JW and Flusher, they're called ex-players when you're playing for the franchise players?
Franchise
Thank
players,
you,
that makes
Brain.
sense.
Yes, I think Obo's being set up to be a franchise player for
We're
Complexity.
talking a lot about roles right now. Like, if we had to give ourselves roles within our crew, what do you think we would go for?
Probably like sausage rolls.
Sausage
would be my preference.
We did have a couple of sausage rolls
fresh in my memory,
so,
and belly.
Yeah.
And I had the crumbs of them all over me when I was doing my first
Sure. I would always say Chad is always the wild card, I think. We never
Why
know.
don't know how I get the wild card?
Because your social media presence is a little bit out there
You
sometimes.
never know what he's going to say.
I would say. Like,
the
you never know what you're going to get.
I've had to call off over the last couple of months.
I feel that's
I'm just
the
getting
wild
reeled
card
on
element.
in. Let me lead like Donald Trump. Let me send them.
That's why I feel like I'm the leader, because you always come to me first and say, Henry, is this tweet good? And I'm like, that tweet has got to be deleted.
I'm a bit offended I don't get much tweet approval requests. I mean,
that's because you're the looks. That's why
is that all I am?
You're the looks. That's why we put you over there. You smile at the camera. Look at the camera now. Smile and look cute. That's what you're there for. And that's why I've delegated that role to you.
Thank you, leader.
Over in that corner.
Right.
I sit in the middle and just make sure everything's cool. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm the blame F the operation here. Kind of same body type as well. So
Yeah,
it's kind of the same thing, you know.
I am going to say that I feel like I do the lion's share of work. In general, out of everybody.
I'd say maybe the worker of the gang. He's the worker bee.
Sure.
I'll be the soldier bee. We'll go for a whole bee analogy.
I think Trace would be the soldier. Trace would be the soldier bee.
I'll be the queen bee. How about that?
You can be queen bee.
Okay,
no
perfect.
Doubt.
That's where I like it.
Are we doing Gossip Girl references now? Or?
I've never seen it.
I don't know what that is.
It's a TV
I know
show
they go
from early 2000s.
XOXO,
They
Gossip
do.
Girl. I know they say that.
Is it a good show?
No,
Worth watching?
it's a terrible show. I watched it when I was a teenage boy. I don't know why. Like, this is how long ago it was. It was like 14 years ago.
Yeah, I remember when everyone else did watch it. I never caught it, but I know the reference. I got that one.
Catch the bug myself. No.
Didn't catch the
I think you were. I think when you would have been,
No, a lot of the females in my space.
I think it was all when I was at
definitely a
university.
chick
It was a long
show.
time ago. Like, I definitely knew people that watched it, and they would meet up to watch it. I was never invited.
Meet up to watch
it?
That was sort of the thing. When Lost was coming out, I was uni then as well. Like, people would meet up to, like, they would socialize to actually watch
It was like the
stuff.
new One Tree Hill. One Tree Hill was a big thing. I don't know if that's
One Tree Hill is massive.
It wasn't
was massive.
It was.
Yeah. I know a few people actually are rewatching it right now. And it's still, the legacy continues to live on.
The legacy lives on. And the legacy, wow, check this out for a segue, of Rush, as we do go ahead and do a full 180 back into Counter-Strike, is a conversation worth continuing. We do have an opportunity actually to tune in with Rush. He gave an interview. I have no idea when. Let's see what he had to say.
I've been playing Counter-Strike on and off for, I guess, like, maybe like 10 years, but it's not like I play competitive the whole time. A lot of that time was like more casual, like in Source. And then when it came to CSGO around end of 2012, early 2013, that's when I started playing competitively. So I'd say I've been playing competitively for about 6-7 years. Some of the notable veterans I played with in North America were that kind of helped me become the player I am today. Probably like Storm, Warden, our current manager, Volcano, XP3. These players are like, when I was first coming up, they kind of like, I was on a team with them, and yeah, I was young and they were veteran players and they helped me a lot. I think that if you put in the hard work and you have the skill, you will get noticed eventually. I think that's the luck part, is getting noticed. Like, I think even if you have all the skills, sometimes you just don't get noticed over time. But I think players like, Obo and Sam and these new players, like, they play FPL and they stream and they put in the work to get noticed, and that's how they do it. So I think they did it the right way. So the development with Val, or Poison, is mainly his English and his communication. I think that as a player, he has a lot to learn still in terms of being like integrated into a system and being a team player, because I think he was kind of more like just a star opera in his previous teams and everything was based around him. But in this team, it's more like based on everybody and everyone has a chance to shine. I think that his communication is getting better every day as well. That's something that at the start was kind of like lacking a little bit, but I think it's gotten a lot better since then. Owen is I think he was a little more behind when I first joined. I think that when he's 16, he has a ton to learn. He came straight from FPL to this team basically. He didn't have any pro teams before this. So it's a given that he's gonna have to learn a lot. And then jumping into a team with me, BlameF, Config, Poison, these like a lot of players from Europe that are star players, it's probably a little intimidating maybe for him, but I think that the most important part of being a player his age is having a good mindset, and he brings that. I think that he's willing to learn, and he never like really gives that much back talk, and if you tell him something, he'll usually try to fix it, and he'll say, yeah, I'll do that, instead of just like giving you, back talk. It's good.
Wow, I dropped my pen. I can't even
Go on, bend over.
All right.
Pick it up.
All right. Well, I was doing pen tricks, and I continue to
Pretty
do
lit,
it.
actually.
It's pretty cool, right? You like that?
Yeah, that was cool.
Sue does this thing where she can spin it on her hand.
I can give it. Let me have a little
Go on.
now. First time?
Go on, first timer. Well, that was clearly not your first time. Chad,
You like that?
something Russia said actually got me thinking, and I think this would be a great time for you to see that throbbing Counter-Strike brain of yours before we get into game. We are still waiting for one player of Navi, by the way, so do not fret. We're not just talking for no reason. We're the same people that are talking about the game. It would make no sense. Chad, Rush was talking a little bit about Obo and his developments. Poison, he said it's mostly about the fact that he was always built around him. Obo, a different story. Only FPL into his first pro team.
Yep.
Could you give me a short list of what he was talking about when he says, obviously, he's got a lot to learn? Going straight from FPL to Pro CS, what would be the most obvious first differences to comparing the two?
So the first one is probably going to be that whole social dynamic, right? Within the realms of pugs, you're playing with different people all the time, and you're probably having to slot on into what other people want to do within a team. And especially if you're being seen as an individual that's, you know, a star or a big frag or somebody who they want to use as a certain piece, now you're going to be given a job, right? You're going to be given roles. You hold here, you do this. Maybe within the pug world, you have preferences, but here going into this team, that adjustment, right? And then the social side of things of you will be dealing with the same 4 other individuals as well as the coach in modern day Counter-Strike on the day-to-day. So that social side of Counter-Strike is a big deal, right? Everybody knows in day-to-day life how people and couples and friends and everybody interacts. It's the same thing now within a team environment. And for a kid to go from being a kid to a professional Counter-Strike player as his probably first ever job, I'm sure maybe he had a newspaper route or, you know, something like that when he was a little bit younger.
Newspapers in 2020, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I forget who I'm dealing with.
Here, have some paper and ink. Paper and ink for you all.
If we get into the Counter-Strike specific stuff, right? Like the actual details of what he's probably not used to. First of all, doing dry runs, right? Or having teammates who actually have things that they like to do time and time again that he has to set up. Within a pug realm, you throw a flash for someone, you know, but you're not setting them up and you don't know exactly what their role is. You don't know how they like to approach it. So those are the little details. And then as you get broader and broader, you can start to look at things like obviously experience within competitive matches. It's a whole different vibe, right? Then when he's already played stage matches as a kid, but, you know, going from playing at home in your bedroom to playing a stage match, those are kind of all the steps. But in terms of like you know, in game, okay, well, if you're playing within the pugs, people name stuff whatever the hell they want. Within a team, you have to sit down. You have to go, we call this, this is this, this is this, this is that. The whole vocabulary as well, that whole side of things. So it's all these extra details. And then, yeah, like I said, mainly just being in a team.
You grow up very quickly as well, going in at that age into that sort of environment, not just a team that started off
You've
like
lived Obo's life, actually.
Have I?
You were young and then going to,
I would say, like,
thrown into that kind of world.
In some ways, well, I was 19 when I went into my first like professional team, right? When I was like, so I was still like an adult, at least in the UK, right? He's super young going into an organization that's owned by one of the biggest sporting brands in the entire world. It's a massive, massive deal. A lot of pressure there, but he's doing well in the environment and thriving.
Yes, and that is a very positive sound, ladies and gentlemen. Complexity Na'Vi, hot match of the evening, and for very good
Chad, you can
reason.
dance as well. You can get into it.
He doesn't like to. He's not a mover.
Not a dancer.
He's not a mover.
Old Twinkle Toes there.
But Na'Vi Complexity, ladies and gentlemen, it starts on Inferno, and we do have a potential for a full 3-map barn burner. Na'Vi have been having a bit of a wobble, so have Complexity, both conceding 2 of their 3 games so far in Group B. It is going to be the 4th day of play, and it's time for a must-win. You lose this, you're out. Your chances of getting yourself to the promos, the second phase of competition for EPL Season 11, will run dry. And so, it's time to start this last chance saloon. Strap yourselves in, we're getting into Inferno.
We are indeed, Alex, and what a game it should be here. Complexity on the T side, they've got 2 smokes, 2 HEs. It's just to me they'll be going down towards that B bomb site, but with coordinated HE grenades could be used anywhere. Boomage with a 5-7, I respect that a lot. Will we boost it up there towards that B bomb site and Electronic? Deadly aim, looking to open things up there. Does fire off a few warning shots to Obo, takes him down to 86, and on the CT side, Chad, 2 smokes available. You don't see that too often on a pistol round, 2 smokes.
Yeah, very, very curious.
No diffuse care and simple with the CZ armor. This is wild.
And a 5-7 armor. 2 armored pistols for the CT start for Na'Vi, and they're lining up for stack nades.
Oh, there's someone there. They're going for the
on the boost.
They should get this.
This
kill
is the 5-7. He's got no. Oh, he has got armor as well, but that's got assassination. Flamey loses his life.
They won't clear this now. They won't clear this now because they're going to think that this position has already been cleared on out by those double nades, right?
They're going A.
They've got the kill and they've tucked tail.
Electronics challenge. He will go down. Just 3 remaining then. But okay, Simple has a walk, and his armored pistol goes awry. CZ lying on the ground now. There will be one more Superman left in the form of Boomich, but this round's all said and done.
I think you might be right, Alex. There's just 5 players just waiting for Boomich to come round here. He has got that 5-7 armor combo. A strange setup from Na'Vi to kick things off, but the in-game leader won't have much of a chance here. Perfecto, he'll have to fall back as well. He's got nothing to save really though, Chad. USP, no armor, no nades. He might as well go down with the ship here. Not really much to do, but try and get $300. Are you dropping more things over there, Alex?
I'm just doing some gymnastics, some stretches.
Okay. Just trying to make sure you're all limbered up for this epic best of 3. I respect it. And you'll see Perfecto. Like, there's no point saving it, but I guess you deny $300 for them. On the other side, that's the only thing you can really do if you're saving a USP and nothing else.
It's surprising that Boomich is even looking for anything right now. He almost went down with the bomb there. If he had died,
bloody hell,
lost the 5-7 and armor.
See,
would have been the whole thing.
The thing is, he would have had to have rebought the armor anyway because of the nades on top of his head at the start of the round there over towards that B bomb site. But like losing the 5-7, that's in place of what you could be, getting an extra nade or 2. So there you go. You'll see him. He'll buy the armor. He'll get himself a smoke and a Molotov in hand. But man, not a great way to start the round if you were. Was it Flamey who went down to the nades?
It was Flamey, yes, and Boomich was above him.
Yeah, you don't love that to kick off the round. You don't even see anything. You get these double dunk nades on your head, but maybe we're fighting on back. It does appear that they will contest Banana a little bit. Smokes to the half wall. Sorry, Molotov to the half wall, and now Boomich is trapped.
They've locked him in.
Coffin of Flames.
Oh, and stack nades. They know he sits sandbags. They've done their homework. He's so relentless in those corners. Sandbag this time punished. Stack nades into an SMG swing. Complexity.
Yeah, you are right, Alex. It is fascinating. Almost bizarre that Boomich can get away with that position almost every single time. That's one of the first we've actually seen him go down at the sandbags. They won't protect him as much as he would like.
Well, if it was a Molotov, he would have just smoked it. You can see he always typically gets mollied out, so but they double nade.
Well, like I said, Keita definitely does his homework. He is the coach of complexity. If we've noticed it, trust me, he has. And if the Molotov is not effective, let's get the HEs in there. Just every round, make sure that he's conditioned at that point not to go in that position anymore, knowing he's going to be vulnerable and can't just rely on the smoke. Either way, the execution coming in towards the A side now. You can see the smokes down towards the arch side, and of course that library. Perfecto with very little chance of finding multiple kills here. A bit of a crossfire of Electronic, but he'll do well to do some damage there. Nice work from Electronic as well. A couple of kills. I don't think it equates to a round victory, but at the same time, you've got to be happy, I guess, with that sort of result. You managed to get a few kills. You managed to make it uncomfortable, but Flamey and Simple, this is very difficult round now to even consider going for. You've got Deagles. I guess Flamey hasn't got armor, so he could consider going for a few more kills, but Simple might just want to save his upgraded pistol here, which it looks to be the case.
Oof, not quite going to connect. And Obo's happy to collect an extra 600 buckers. That's what I call them.
Buckers?
Yeah, trying to make it sound as Australian as possible.
Okay.
You'll need more buckers, mate.
People say dollary dues, but we would never actually say dollary dues.
No, it doesn't even sound remotely Australian.
No.
I think, what did I just call them? Buckers?
We'd say bucks. You get a couple bucks.
Yeah, bucks.
I think that's, pretty standard. So throughout the week, well, it was last week now. Today's Monday. If you've been joining us for the Pro League broadcast thus far, you'd hear me and Henry talking about a lot of these buys in certain situations, and we'd say they should be saving now. This would not be a very wise force buy. We're probably not going to say that about Na'Vi because they will make some of the worst economic decisions you could possibly imagine and make it work.
They've made it their brand. They've been doing it for years.
Yeah, they're tanking the economy themselves. It's going to be an interesting way to see how they want to approach going into the first gun round. They've upgraded a little bit more, so you can see P250 for Flamey.
What I like about it was French Counter-Strike for the longest time that had that sort of reputation. Na'Vi was just stuck to their guns for the last 5 years. They've kept force buying. They never stopped. You've got to just admire it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, they are persistent. There's no doubt about it.
So for now, this is the eco. Simple did save that Deagle and armor, but there's a 3-man stack. Complexity doing absolutely everything to avoid confrontation, and you have to. In today's game of CSGO, you cannot rest on your laurels. You can't have fun exploring the map, even against USP's no armor, Alex and Chad. We've seen it in this tournament multiple times already. USP victories off the back of 1 P250.
Oh, yeah.
These world-class players, you give them an inch, they'll take a mile every damn time.
We saw it yesterday. I mean, was it Sticko with the crazy creep turnaround?
That's it.
We rewatched that last night once we got home as well.
We did. We broke it all down, didn't we?
We dissected it. There is absolutely no way in a million years that Ent should have lost that round.
Go back and watch it if you missed it, ladies and gentlemen.
We should have recorded that. That was actually quite interesting.
Yeah.
Either way, so still a 5-on-5. Respect the complexity as well for this, by the way. They're treating this like a gun round. You have to these days. Every dollar is so important. You want to be a world-class team, you have to respect every round in this sort of manner. No one can be running around. You have to make sure that you're just keeping everyone alive. Look how efficient this is. It's stifling the CTs. They'll get one kill because Electronic, very good player, but that was a very nice approach coming in there from Complexity. Electronic played very well to get a couple of kills. Simple Deagle armor. You know he's going to fancy his chances. No one's going to be challenging this. Flamer from the corner. He ducks himself in. 3-0 Complexity on their T side. But here we go. We're getting into the meat and potatoes, as it were. We've got Simple with the AWP thrown over by Electronic.
Poison as well has picked one up early, so we will be seeing both orbs come out on each respective side. My main observation earlier is going to be what you pointed out with those grenades, Alex. Over towards Banana, if Boomich's position has been well and truly noted and it looks like they're counter-stratting him, I need to see Na'Vi move Simple over to that part of the map very early with an AWP. If not, this is going to be a real tough half.
Let's keep our eyes on it. Simple's fanning.
Here he comes.
Oh, he was fancying some aggression. Heard the pins pulled. Will back away. Nade looks good, though, and is avoided nicely by Config. Himself and Obo will be adventuring towards Apartment's control, just ensuring they can gather that part of the map, remove any aggressive CT presence. We will see rather rinse and repeat. Boomich having to respect that Molotov, which both locks you in, should you have gone aggressive, or locks you out.
So the bomb's still down at T steps. This is a bit of a ruse towards A right now. Rush is going to be setting up some utility towards the pit position. Electronic, he does have the smoke. He doesn't want to extinguish just yet. Really nice move from him. Yeah, I guess it did. The fact he had that sort of freedom to stand in the position and get vision. I thought it was a bit of a weird Molotov. I wasn't even sure you could throw it deeply in the pit from the angle Rush was in. It just about made it, but wasn't quite deep enough by any stretch.
They might get another kill with nades here like we saw in the pistol, but it will be just avoided by Boomich this time round. Damage will be done, but nothing to write home about necessarily. And with the number advantage and 45 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, with 40 seconds on the clock, we are going to be seeing them head towards B. Rush challenging, though, and despite the loss of Obo and Apps, he continues his adventures towards A. Getting that frag will lock them in. There's two members of Na'Vi that will have to respect this. And now Complexity, with 30 seconds left, are pulling Boomich around towards Spawn. They are keeping him guessing, and so am I, because they're going back to A.
They really are. 20 seconds remain, and Rush in towards his library position as well, just locking off all those transitional players from the B bomb side. It's going to be Boomich first, is coming through, but frags are starting to happen. The man of the hour, Simple, starting to rail them with the AWP. Boomich from the library as well. Time is low. Config left on a 2 versus 1. Nothing he can do about it. It was looking incredibly good there. Rush's interaction, how did he go down so convincingly? He looked towards the library, he tucked himself in, it looked like he was good to go. That position alone, I thought would win the round, Chad.
Yeah, let me go back and take
I think it was Simple,
look at
right?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, as he's come through library, Simple is already scoped up on that position, so Simple just gets the better of him on that occasion.
I feel like just holding towards the library, waiting for the B players, that was the play for me. That was when you shut down Boomich. Simple was never going to get more than a few frags of the swarm that was coming in, but still, it's the first on the board for Na'Vi. Not the cleanest of rounds. They're going to have to make some compromises here with the MP9s. Rifles coming out as well. It's a fast approach here towards B. Simple over towards this side of the map. Boomich goes down to the nades once again. He's getting battered and bruised here. As we'll see the advantage now, and the brakes put on by Complexity. They don't have to commit off this. They've got a nice opening kill. They know the money's low on the CT side. It's a 5-on-4, and they're operating here with one rifle in the hands of Rush. Mac 10s and Deagles. They still have 4 smokes, Molotovs, and flashes. They want to go into a set piece now, ideally. But you need a little bit of map control first. You need to remove vision, ideally towards middle and Banana before the executions come in. So that first protocol towards Banana, that's already been accomplished now. You've got a kill on that side of the map. You've put a rotation away from A. So you're going to get the apartment, smoke towards Arch. This is the mid control we're talking about now. This sets you up for the next piece of the puzzle, Chad.
This map here does play a little bit like a jigsaw puzzle for sure. It's all about getting as many pieces as you can and making sure that they can't steal them back off you.
This is the 2 strongest pieces you can have. You have full B control, middle, a man advantage, and the fact you know there's a chance they won't have utility at this point. You're going to go for the full A execution. I felt like Complexity was smoke in front of the sign, isolate the pit, and try and focus their Mac 10s in that area. But time will tell. Maybe they'll just go for a 1 flashbang and attack.
Electronic preemptively smoking himself off. That's an interesting approach.
Do they get to wait for that? Are they going to respect it? Here comes the flash. I think they're going in. Electronic dodges it.
And he can play on the smoke. Spray's not good enough when Config's hitting shots like that.
Nice work.
Should be
for
a
Complexity.
save.
Yeah. That's the way to do it. You've already forced them into a difficult situation there. They've rotated one player over towards B. There's 2 at A. Nice, just a basic play there. 3 towards the apartments. Good flash. And it doesn't actually flash him, Chad. He has to turn away, but that means a player like Electronic, he's only good for 1 there. He's not going to be comfortable enough to be a turret getting 2 or 3 kills. He got 1 because he's a world-class player, but they made it so difficult for him.
Yeah, and you can see the problem there. It's just both players were committed towards the side of A, but when you had Perfecto move with that MP9, I believe it was, to find himself a position where maybe he could just deny the plant, it was at that wrong timing. If they had double pit, maybe Electronic may have stayed alive for a little bit longer, played around his teammate because he knows they can't drop off that balcony as easily to harass him. His only issue was his smoke would have been dissipating. Now, we're going to jump into Skybox here, guys. Now, this is why I'm worried about Boomich. Check out all this utility they're about to use towards the top banana for his position. 1, 2,
Sandbags
3
again.
grenades landing right here to Boomich's spot. He has to fall on back, and they even push through their own Molotovs to chase them down here. So they really want to condition the top banana at the start of this game.
Yeah.
We have to look into this one and see how this progresses.
Finally, right, Alex, you and I have casted so many Na'Vi games on Inferno. We notice this every time, and I'm baffled because we're saying it. We're giving the walkthrough online while the game is happening. So Boomich is here every time. Why is no one letting him or taking him down, I should say? It's very bizarre, but finally, our team is cottoned on, as it were. We will get into the next round here. 4-1, and weapons saved enable them to buy up into this round. Grenades again for Boomich. He really does need to learn his lesson as he goes down to 65 points of health here. Only with the MP9 is trying to buy time. He has got Flamey with him with the FAMAS. A master of the lesser rifles, it seems. He had amazing performances with the Galil over in Katowice. This time with the CT equivalent. Config does get that B control, but the bomb's still down in T steps. Notice that. This is just assembling those puzzle pieces once again. They want to take vision away from the CT side and cause an element of doubt.
Smoke towards Arch. He talked about Obo having a job. Well, we've just seen one part of his job here in round 6, getting that smoke down. Set the CTs. Channel the CTs into just the one avenue of defense. It will be, for now, towards quad. This higgledy-piggledy CT buy from Na'Vi could have struggled from a coordinated hit. 40-second mark. Still, you can see that Boomich, in fact, just deployed a smoke on Banana, so that's enough of an audio cue to at least rest on your laurels a little bit and focus your attention towards A. 30 seconds, and here come the smokes. Here comes the push.
Here it comes indeed, but Simple is ready and waiting. He doesn't miss these ones. Henry, what are you talking about? Sometimes he will. It is going to be an opening pick with that MP9, and Perfecto's in a lot of trouble as well. Complexity are doing a very good job of wrapping this bomb site. They're applying a lot of pressure towards the quad and Art side there. You can see it's overwhelming. Simple missing that key shot. That is uncharacteristic by his standards. Like I said, a shot like that, you just assume Simple's going to nail it. 3 players there. He actually goes right between the wickets, and unfortunately, it's going to be the MP9 and Mac 10 combo finding him first. Not really much can be done. Obo with a couple of frags upgrading to the AWP. Boomich will get an upgrade of his own, but only back to the M4 as he drops out of the apartments, takes a little bit of full damage there. But it's Complexity 5, Na'Vi 1 on the T side of Inferno here. This is unprecedented. Looking very good for the team. They've done their homework, Chad. You've got to say.
Definitely so. Na'Vi might have to start going aggressive to take the fight to them instead of getting dictated to across the board.
Thing. So I think it's more than fair to say pound for pound, Na'Vi do have this team beat in an individual level.
Sure.
But we're not seeing it right now because they're playing their usual game. They haven't mixed things up. And Complexity are actually anti-stratting them right now.
Yeah, and here's more of that action right now. We're going to look at what happened top banana that round to Boomich. I'm going to just go back a little bit here.
Nades first.
The nades first. There we go. So he gets harassed now at Sandbag, top banana, and CT spawn. They are trying to nuke him out of position here on this map of Inferno.
Oh god, yeah, I forgot the boost nades. That's all part of the Boomich package.
So he has to start thinking about all of these possibilities now, right?
He could just reel it in as well. He doesn't have to challenge at the start.
He wants to though, Henry, and that's why. A quick double. Flamey delivers with a flashbang as well. Early advantage seized by the only M4 on play for the CTs.
Try and try again. Eventually you will find success. Boomich proves me wrong, and I'm happy to see it. A double kill there towards Banana, and it might get them in the round here. Simple towards this bedroom position. Obo looks like he'll check it, though. It's a very common angle, but Simple's not a common player. He makes a remarkable shot happen, and there we go. A 4-on-2, just what they needed. It has to funnel them up and towards the B bombs. I was about to say they're happy to go challenge this. The smoke might nullify their efforts. Time will tell.
Such a typical Na'Vi round, of course. You know, you go down 5-1, and then with just a save rifle, peanut pistols, you get it back. under your remit. Simple, of course, contributing with a sterling shot. That was a Krieg versus a Deagle duel that he won with his $700 pistol.
Well, it's the round they needed. They haven't completed the objective just yet, but it's looking very promising indeed. Simple will fall back to a more defensive line of this deep pit position. Config to find him, but it looks like the crosshair is just so perfect. You can't teach that, ladies and gentlemen. Will he close things out in true style here? 2 kills to his name already. Molotov in his position. That is just brilliant from Simple. That's why he's paid the big bucks, boys.
Yeah, undoubtedly. 5 kills in total, just catches up with the rest of his team. Can we have a flamey ADR check? He was on 0 not too long ago.
Sorry, guys. I just want to show you this. I keep wanting to show you things. All 3 players here, they have grenades in their hand as Boomich rounds the corner. So no wonder he gets 2 for almost free there, right? They are trying to counter his positions, but he's countered them by just pushing straight on in.
Point.
So that's the change-up that Boomich was needed.
He countered the counter, and there's the ADR I was talking about. Still 0. 8 rounds now of Counter-Strike going down. Flamey yet to inflict a single point of damage. Boomich is taking his liberties in B.
What an adjustment that was. We spotted it, Chad. We saw that they needed to make some changes here, and they have them. Now going for aggressive control instead of sitting at the back in between defensive and aggro play. It's lovely to see, you have to say.
And with that full control, they've actually been able to rotate the 4th man over towards the A site. Rush going to get caught off by an angle. It doesn't look like it's an A hit.
Yeah, they've got the 2 smokes down now, trying to segregate that pit position. I talked about this before. It's a very common approach, but it looks like it's going to be Simple, just mowing them down here. He's seen this a few times, and he's happy to let them rot in the pit at this point. They've got a 4 versus 3 advantage. Playmeth, though, fancy footwork to get himself up and towards this graveyard position. Thinks he spots one in there. No one going to be receiving that grenade just yet. Simple. His crosshair is always just so perfect. This time taken down by the Flames of Perfecto. Ready and waiting on the bomb site here. C4 down in the pits, and the first kill, that's going to be his.
This should be the round, just config. Nose poison's low. Boomich, of course, closing that gap from the B side of things, and config can't really leave. He does have the access to the bomb, knows now where one of these 3 are. 2 of these 3, I should say. Boomich, of course, the only unknown entity. Repositions for the jiggle. Wants to punish it. Now we'll find Perfecto. Not too clean. A chance now. 20 seconds. That clock starting to be rotted by the jiggles. Navi's being pushed. He couldn't work it out. It's Boomich coming in from quad. Good timing.
Oh, dear. That could have gone awfully wrong right there if he just swung around.
How much did he see?
Just the corner, and then gets him with the wall bang. So this position here, I loved it from Simple once he saw those smokes land on through, and then gets this one in before the Flames trade him out there. But I think Config did a good job to even find 1 kill in that situation. By doing that, he's taken away the ability for the CTs to have 3 Kriegs in play. As we can see here, they are only able to carry across the 2. We've got Boomich on a silence den 4. That might slow down his banana aggression, however.
Simple and Electronic both have the superpower weapon.
The weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah. Scary prospect.
Absolutely. In the wrong hands, Alex, you never know what could happen. 5 and 4 for now. Money broken for Complexity. Not expecting too much in this round, I'm afraid. No armor. Rush is just looking to jump. He's just had enough of the round, you know. He's like, we're not, boys, let's just focus on the next one. Get a jump in the flames. Get it over with.
It's not the funnest way to go down. Or perhaps if you're a pyromaniac, it is.
Yeah, one of the more satisfying, I suppose. This is very, very quiet.
We were praising Complexity for their thorough, their thorough T-side approach to the anti-eco.
Well, there's always an argument to be made. They're baiting out utility, squeezing out every extra cent, every dollar. It is worth it. Just the bigger picture stuff in the games. They bet out another $300 there. 500 with the flashbang coming through. So it's all about just trying to get rid of those grenades. It's very boring to observe and probably sit there, wait, but you might as well, right? You might as well just take that money out of their pockets if possible.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
Another 300
Another one.
That one cost them a bit more as well.
Flamey found some ADR now, boys, that's for sure. And they does it, so do his bullets, and there we have it. Na'Vi closing the gap, and this all started, this slew of rounds started off the back of that Deagle Simple 3K. It was all on a broken buy, and now completely and firmly back into this half.
Yeah, well, let's see what tricks Complexity have up their sleeve. Now the adjustments come in from the side of Na'Vi. I'm sure they were ready for that. I'm sure they were ready for the next stage of this game. They went for a faster A approach. He didn't get what they were looking for. Let's see how they challenge round number 10. We have a bunch of members over towards the T stairs. A simple peers on down. He's going to drop that smoke. It's going to obscure the vision, and he could even, I was going to say push through to alt middle, but he wants to drop a HE that is going to be dodged perfectly. So Complexity, we've seen that trick before. Won't take a lick of damage here, and Simple has expended a lot of his nades very early onto this round and hasn't gotten anything for it. So now he just has to defend with the rifle in hand.
Simple likes to go against the grain though, Chad. He doesn't follow the Counter-Strike rulebook like you and I. He likes to make sure that he plays to his own rule sets. Boomich will go down first, config with that Galil in hand. That's going to be towards B. There's a lot of action with the rifles there on this side of the map. Flamey now isolated, alone, waiting for backup at this point. Simple provider, but he's also got no grenades, as Chad mentioned. Smoke towards library now. Flashbang and quad send themselves up towards the apartment's position once again. This is the wrap that's been working so well for them. Same smokes, same approach. Perfecto with his back turn. He's got to be ready for this one. He's done for. This is just an absolute counter for Na'Vi. They don't have a real answer. When this setup comes through, they're given the control. Ooh. They're not ready for it in any sort of facet.
I mean, there's a perfect example in Electronic's death. He has to focus on config, the presence in graveyard. They were already swinging into the site. Perfecto just gobbled the flashbang, so he lost his teammate early. Yeah, that was a disastrous feeling for Na'Vi.
Right now, they're just focusing on taking down Boomich. That's their main objective to start the round. He's super aggressive. He's either at the barrels, he's either at the corner, or he's at the sandbags. Once you've taken him out, they're falling back into a default, knowing there's a player peeling back to back up Flamey, going for an A execution, segregating the pit, making those players feel very uncomfortable on the A side. Then they're going around towards Arch, smoke down towards Yard side itself, in towards the library, 3 flashbangs on the bomb site. The most important one, as they swing, he saw Perfecto. All he could really do is sit in the open and hope for the best there, Chad, which wasn't very good at all, was it?
Yeah, we can actually break what you were talking about down, Henry. Let me just position the camera here so we can see the individuals lining up their nades towards middle. What we're going to do is we're going to play it out now. So these are the smokes that we're talking about here, landing towards Arch and Library, and then Perfecto is stuck in no man's land. This smoke here is meant to stop anybody from the pit to be able to stop the wrap. And as you can see here, well, that's fine for them because they can now just focus on site or graveyard as they round this corner. And their flashes are on point too. You could see right
rushes
there.
From
had no chance.
apps. You see rushes flash from apps. He just throws it into graveyard corner, which is enough to make sure anyone that's on site looking towards long
in that kind of that corner box by the default plant spot, they're going to be flashed, right?
Absolutely.
So that's a really good spot, Alex. Yeah, you're right.
So let's see what Flamey's got in store for us, because he's going to go try and take a full advantage of the deep banana smoke. Does get himself down. Now you can see he's using the logs just to elevate his head just a little bit off the default crosshair placement. Config loses a lot of life. 97 just catches an M4 bullet to the dome. And you can see them right back at spawn. Complexity, they've got 2 prongs to this assault right now.
I think they're just feeling out the map at this point. They know Na'Vi like to adjust. We have seen them adapt with the aggression towards Banana. They're just going to see whether that comes through first. Are they going to dump everything they've got towards B and try and get the opening pick that worked out for them before? The answer is no. Actually, it's going to be a very default and classic setup, but Boomich with full control of Banana, it's a little bit of a different tale here, actually. He's going to be holding with the Incendiary. We've seen this on many different maps. He's just looking for a pixel angle here. He can just about see the angle towards T-steps, and when he jumps up there, if he sees anyone at all, he'll drop it, call for the rotation, but that Incendiary will buy him 7 seconds just to hold them at bay. He still has the smoke behind it as well. Things get really tricky, but that's why they can keep one player on that side of the map for now. Simple, advantageous position towards quad, opens things up, takes down the young gun.
Boomich, oh, you often told me one of the first Counter-Strike lessons, smoke at 30 is good, but that's only good if they respect it. Here they come straight through, grey screens, and now red. He's seeing red. It's Boomich with a quad kill. 6-5, they test him on B. He's been strangled on B time after time, but this is 4 kills in very quick succession. Beautiful transfer, and there's not much complexity. He had the choice there. I mean, with 20 seconds as that smoke blooms, I assume it's like it's go.
Fight or flight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very important for Boomich not to be the first individual to die here. That's Jason Lake, the owner.
He's dead on.
Complexity, bang on there. It's very important for Boomich not to die first here. He's currently been involved in 6 opening duels. He's given away the first kill 4 out of those 6 times. And I'm just going back to double check now. It does look like every time he has died first, Complexity have won the round. So...
Okay, a
stay
trend.
alive, Boomich.
And he just won them the round single-handedly. Good evidence to suggest his life is valuable in conversion. Conversion is the word I was looking for. Converging would make very little sense. Rush, however, He's going to start his walk, and wow, that's 4 smokes flying through the air. A wall of smokes around pit. This is cool, and I can already feel the skybox coming. Electronic, however, is going to be in graveyard. Perfecto Nate does manage to throw a nade in towards them, and it takes a huge chunk down. Yes, you're smoked, but what can you do about this? Half your health gone from a HE. Electronic still standing his ground in graveyard. It's unlikely they're going to check him, given how well hidden he is.
I like all these variations they've got of this execution towards A. Just keeping them on the toes here. It's looking very promising indeed. Config with a show-stopping shot from the apartments here. We are getting ourselves into another 4 versus 2 on the T side of Inferno now. Boomage towards the library. Not doing any heavy reading, that's for sure. Waiting for an opportunity to strike, and that's Config. Looking sharp here, boys.
It really is.
That strategy they just ran is a variation of an old strategy, right? VP used to run that a lot. Bialy and Snacks were well known for how they played around those smokes right there. It's good to see Complexity finding some use for it. I haven't seen it get used an awful lot in the top tier of competitive play because it is what we would consider an all-in. The amount of resources necessary just to pull off that round
4
alone,
smokes.
it's a lot, right? So if you have that idea early and you lose a pick, you can't maintain that map control. What Complexity have done to get to this point is do a fantastic job of conditioning Banana, making sure that that has to be a key focus for Na'Vi, whether they want to go aggressive or whether they have to respect those nades. Either way, it's a much harder opportunity for them to get opening picks. You can see just how hesitant Complexity were. They don't even want to hang around T stairs in case those harassment nades coming down middle or Banana when it does get taken and smoked on off. And these are some of the reasons as to why we're seeing these cool executes. So, good stuff so far from Complexity. This T half is very, very juicy from a nerdy point of view, Alex.
It has been. It's been full to the brim of clear evidence of preparation against the world number 1. Na'Vi picked up their win in Katowice, of course. That is how they climbed the rankings. And since then, their online performances have felt the difference. Boomich, of course, giving us a fantastic stat in the pre-match interview. This is the first online Counter-Strike Na'Vi have played in about a year. I mean, they really avoided it last year. I remember 2019, it was like, when was the last time we saw Na'Vi? We found ourselves saying that a couple of times. They just really deliberately made specific choices.
Considering like how the way the circuit was on LAN and then having to play official matches between all these things, it's a good decision to make there. But the man I want to see staying alive, Boomich, will be pushed on back with the flashes.
Yeah, right back. And he's doing the same sort of play this time. Trying to hold them off to the best of his ability. Smoke down early this time. 1 minute mark. Flashbang through it though. Brutal. Really nice play. So the benefit of that is the smoke going down suggests there's a defensive play coming through, but they can't see the flash at that point. He throw the smoke down, flashbang into it. Yet they just didn't see that coming. Config couldn't do anything at all.
Yeah, he goes from not seeing it coming to not seeing anything, and Boomich just slapping him around as he pushes out.
Really nice reaction though. I like that a lot. So you can see they've got some tricks up their sleeves here.
Last time they did this, Simple struggled to hit his shot. An uncharacteristic miss was how it was described and excused. And well, now he's got 3 targets. And Rush! My goodness, that's a quick one.
Yeah, it's more like it from him.
Back to A.
That's not a bad call, is it?
They did this before.
Yeah, if he did make this play happen, it's actually a really nice one because we know that their plays towards the A bomb site have been very effective indeed. That shot actually lands as well as Obo keeps picking them off here. It's Electronic. We know he's always in his pit position. A big spray down on the first and the second here. Bomb to be planted on the site, courtesy of Poison. Obo, he doesn't check the corner here.
Noise.
He's making a lot of noise. He should still get the kill here, but it costs him his life, Chad. He could have got that for free. Now we're down in the 2 versus 1. Poison hasn't been playing too well in EPL so far. He gets the first shot. Now Boomich is waiting for him. It looked like Poison had done enough, but we haven't seen the best out of him in EPL so far.
Oh, we're loving this. We're seeing a lot of this.
Yeah,
I want to see more of it.
Yeah, no doubt. The Obo exchange there, that's going to come down to experience. I'll be watching that one back, immediately going to catch a glimpse of that X-ray and be sure in certain circumstances upon repetition to do it again. Boomer trying to get under their skin. Any advantage you can take is an advantage.
Yeah, and I think that's probably a bit of frustration coming out of the Na'Vi camp, having to play against this very slow and methodical style. They're making all the right decisions. When you lose the opening pick here, what they realized, if they could get top middle, the AWPer would have to probably be in a passive position, right? So the next gap is if we can go through mid to B, that's going to force everybody to be walking around on eggshells because that's a massive gap. Where are they going? Is it the B split?
Right.
Has Simple been duped? As soon as Rush got that kill, it was on, right? The round was completely open for Complexity to win there.
Yeah.
So Na'Vi especially with Electronic, did a very good job to survive.
Electronic spray down was pretty god tier, to be honest with you. The fact he got the first, it's allowed Gatling M4A4 from the pit. You'd think he'd be taken out, but nice transfer up to the hay bales. Manages to get both, and here we have it, 7-6. Na'Vi clawing the way back in, can still win the half at this point. Money is strong. Not the same story for Complexity. They'll be broken if they give this round up. Config taken down by virtue of the flashbang in the previous round in this same position. Looks a lot more tentative now. Making sure he pre-fires every single position. And at this stage, he has got B control. Same smoke down, though.
You talk about conditioning, and I mean, this is a perfect example of how it would work, right? Because Config, he sees that smoke a second time, and I'm probably not going to get right up next to it the second time. No, I'm going to play an anti-flash in a corner.
Smokes are not force filled. It's a very important message we have to get out there for people.
And yet, even the world's best fall into that trap sometimes. It's one of the ways of Counter-Strike. You do start to really consider that smoky grey screen a whole lot more bulletproof than it is.
So 35 seconds has to be the B finish here. The smokes are going in towards the coffins. CT spawn, Molotov's coming in. You see how technical Complexity are. They've done their homework here, but the Molotov, it's actually off completely. They haven't done a good enough job here, Chad. This is going to be a difficult one. They assume the new box is going to be clear at this stage. Do they even check it? They've just Molotoved it. They've got their backs turned to it. They thought it was clear. They've missed one simple grenade, and it's cost them 3 frags. Boomich will find his 20th there from the new boxes. Gets himself in a 4 versus 2, and now just rush. He's completely blind. He's going down any second. He's lucky to be alive at this point, but one missed Molotov. It's not just because they didn't take him out. It's because they assumed it was clear, because that job had to be covered. Chad, can we break that one down? Can we look at who threw that? Can we find out who the criminal was?
Yeah, I can take a look at that for you. One of the key problems that I did note there that could have really been the unraveling, guys, would have been the situation for the CT side of rotation, which was very, very far away. So they're setting up the nades now. Let's just wait and see who's going to throw this Molotov.
It's Config. It's Config.
Oh, is it Config?
No, Config was Coffin. So Poison.
I'll have to go back and take another look.
I was looking at Poison. I'm almost certain it was him. So it goes in front of he's done it to the right, I think, instead of to the left. So the little knobs that are up there.
The knobs.
For lack of a better word. And it's gone to in front of the new box instead of behind. Not what you were looking for. And it's just, I feel like if that comes through, Boomich probably gets 2 kills still, sure, but he doesn't get the 3rd.
It was Poison on second review. It got a little bit confusing there because Blame and Poison were standing right next to each other, but it definitely was to Poison.
You can't get more than 1, though, surely, as they enter the site. Electronic, you know where he's going to be, but that doesn't stop him. The Molotovs don't, and no one can seem to stop this man. Already double kill. Config's going to be finished by Perfecto. We have ourselves an 8-7 half. Complexity, hard work pays off as they do manage to keep Na'Vi close on the first map of this hot match.
Chasing the night, chasing the night. Hotel rooms and city squares, champagne bottles, drum and snare. The sights and cities seem to fall away when you stay. Locked in love for a night or two, losing sleep just to get off you. Day to day you wanna stay out, you're chasing the night, holding on for life, fading the night, chasing the night, chasing the night.
Welcome back to ESL Pro League. You join us between Na'Vi and Complexity. There's Rush on his screen right now, and we are neck and neck. Heads are on the chopping block as we go into the second half here, and we're going to see who we're coming out on top. Currently, Na'Vi leading 8-7, boys. An epic first half, and hopefully we see more of that from Complexity. I really like their T side, but up against a hard-hitting Na'Vi right now.
And it's definitely getting a little bit hot in there, Henry. That would be the only reason to be seeing Rush opening that door right now, because I assume they're going to get you getting a little bit loud with the way that this game's going to play on out.
Someone, somewhere, an ESL admin is having a heart attack because he just saw Rush on his phone and he's like, I'm furious. Yeah, I've got a box somewhere. I want to be putting that in. But he can't be doing that today. A change of plans. And perhaps Complexity's changing Na'Vi's plans with such a strong T side.
Yeah, definitely.
He's got himself like a little bubble chamber there. I like that.
I think him and Obo are in Denmark right now. Blame's obviously in his home.
Sure.
You'd have the same for Config, I would assume.
Yeah.
And then Poison, well, he's off. He's off somewhere else, you know?
Yeah.
He ain't with them by any means. But
a proper online game, this one.
Yeah.
Everyone's joining the team speak, getting stuck in, and they're going to have to dig their heels in at this point if they're going to make the comeback. It was looking so good for them. Respect to the theory and hard work and graft they put in terms of the anti-strat there. Na'Vi were caught with their pants down a few times, but the raw firepower kept them in it. We saw the stars shining brightly. Boom instead, his preparation coming into this tournament was the same as Katowice. Finally, we're starting to see that shine through. He's 20-7 right now as you go into the second half.
Oh, he is. Just don't sleep on Boomage. Keep your eyes on this. Soon, perhaps, we'll see Flamey, Electronic, Boomage, and Simple all online at the same time. Bomb loose as they charge down middle. And another headshot. Rush behind them. Obo's pushing in. They'll check their corners, I assume. Electronic, give it a chance. And only one.
Yeah, you don't get a chance of that very often. 3 players not checking your position. He doesn't get anything for it, but Simple might!
Oh, God.
The burst fire. Was that the way he finishes things off there? That's insane. Perfecto, brought into this team for his clutch potential, is now left in a 2 versus 1, but he's making a lot of noise. Blame X to take him down momentarily, which he will. Great round for Complexity. And Chad, why are teams pushing down middle so often these days? What's the theory behind it at this stage?
Look, I think the CTs are starting to take matters into their own hands because the Ts are getting so good at isolating individual kills or stringing a team out and making it difficult for them to have a say in the round. Whereas now the CTs, if you take the fight to your opponent, you've taken away all the guesswork. You know exactly what your plan is. You win or lose the round with that shove all in. And if you lose, well, it's Counter-Strike in 2020. You're going to force buy next round anyway.
I like the idea of sabotaging whatever set piece or tactic they had in mind. You just throw a spanner in the works and you just make them think on their feet. You make it a mid-round pretty much straight away at that stage. Even if it goes for a 1-for-1 trade and you fall back, it's not the same approach they had in mind. Either way, it's not a force buy from Na'Vi here. There's going to be the full eco. It's Simple, of course, so we'll have the Desert Eagle. He got 2 more kills than his teammates. Remember, he got $600, so it doesn't cost him much more. He still has the same cash as his teammates there. As we get into round 17, and the first kill is delivered in a stylish fashion with an MP9 straight to the face of Boomage.
5 MP9s, no less as well. So do keep track of Complexity. Should they get a clean, spotless anti-eco here, we're going to be seeing 5 MP9s against Kriegs next round.
There's a few maps where this is viable. I think Inferno is probably one of them, considering how tight the choke points can be. Banana, once you get that locked down, top middle when you're keeping it smoked, and then for the late round, you can do sight crossfires, play on that balcony position. Very difficult to deal with. However, with the bonus round that you're suggesting, what they'll need to do is have some form of a plan, right? You want to take a territory as a team, maybe use your superior utility, then what you're going to have over Na'Vi going into the following to isolate a kill, see if you can upgrade a weapon. I wouldn't see any need for these Complexity players to be upgrading if they all survive, which is looking good as the flash will come over. Config will find all 3.
Perfect flash.
And now we're going to move into round number 3, where Na'Vi are going to have the big guns in place. So let's see what move Complexity go for right now. I would assume 3 players towards top of Banana just to lock it down. Carpet Banana with that utility. Here's that replay for you one more time. Or they could go for something, you know, where they're not so hyper-aggressive at the start. They bait the rifles in closer and then do more of like a pop flash and peek on it.
I would like to see, I was about to say, 3 towards B, go for some banana control. Like, even if it's equal trades at this point, they're just trying to make this round as expensive as possible. We can still buy up into the next one, and they are going to be pushing with the grenades. At least lots of damage inflicted. They haven't received any themselves. So a nice start here. Unconfirmed damage towards Electronic, but he's down to 8 HP. One of the hardest hitting players on Na'Vi, nullified. Earlier on it in this round. So what can he do at this point? A little bit of blockage action here towards the T-step. Simple fires off speculative shots towards a barrel position. Remember, 5 MP9s here. It's a very passive game. They went for some initial control towards B, did the damage they wanted to do, and they've fallen back here. Holding on to the smokes, the incendiaries. They haven't dropped a single one yet. They don't want to until they absolutely have to. In a default gun round, you probably see a smoke towards top or middle in the first 20, 30 seconds, just to stop the rush. They're taking that risk for now, knowing that they need to hold on to this and whittle down the clock.
It's really problematic for Na'Vi in this round. Sure, they have the more powerful weaponry on the table, but they have no utility to work with here.
Yep.
This is bare bones. They've had to scrape the bottom of the barrel here, and they are hoping they hit shots. That's what this comes down to. But unfortunately for them, the MP9s will play more unorthodox positions. It won't be standard rifle spots.
They're going to tuck themselves in. And we're at 40 seconds now. One smoke remaining for Rush.
And the
Obo
volley.
the incendiary as well. This will be massive, so he wants to get that down. They'll go past that. He's a little bit late on it. Boomish can still get through. His teammates cannot, however, so it has bought time nonetheless. And in terms of remaining utility here, Obo with nothing makes a footstep towards the barrel, jumps up. Now only good for one kill. You can see that first bit of conviction from Perfecto. He does a little bit of damage towards Simple as well. About what he was worth, to be honest with you. If Rush can find more, they might be onto something.
Yeah, and there is a chance. That's going to be an upgrade as well. Flamey's gone down in apps, and now time rotting. 8 seconds. Bomb needs to go down on Simple. He will ensure that happens, and he can hear the communication, or rather the steps. He'll communicate that to his team. 2 members dipped into pit. And they're coordinating with what little they have. Just a couple of flashbangs, upgrading their weapons. It's looking positive for the bonus round here from Complexity. And as soon as that molly fades, that's their cue. That's their go. One flash. Simple will eliminate the push from Bao. Get a second chance onto Poison. Will finally go down. They know there's another one towards Electronics' position. They're so low, but Blame doesn't know. You said unconfirmed damage, and now this one is confirmed. Na'Vi make 9.
They're both going to blow up here, Henry. So
that's a good
very
point.
expensive.
So
round.
it was what we'd say a bonus round, right? You know you're probably not going to win it. 5 MP9s. They've taken all 5 players down. They've saved the AK-47. We know Complexity have a full rifle by going forward, especially now Blame F can drop a single M4 here. And now look at the money for Na'Vi. By winning the round by virtue of Explosion, it's $3,500 per player. That's pretty much all they're going to have across the board going into round number 19 here. So we'll see Galil's, Mac 10s, and Kriegs. There is one saving grace to this, however. Complexity don't have the best money. Sure, they have enough for the rifles, but look, 4 helmets missing. That means that Galil's and Mac 10's a lot more powerful at this stage. Huge round in the context of this map and potentially the series.
Let's find out then what Boomich has got in store for us. Just charging up straight into Poison's crosshairs, and that's enough to get the first blood. A tag, in fact, it seems, straight towards Electronics. Simple may have caught a little as well. Not bad for one bullet straight through that half wall. You can still see it remains in the lower right corner of his crosshair.
Well, they started last round with Electronic taking, what was it? 92 points of, no, 92 points of damage within the first, 15 seconds? This time round, they've lost an opening pick, and it is Boomich once more. It is the, I guess, curse of his play style. He likes to be aggressive. When he takes advantage of it, it looks fantastic. When he goes down early without any trade potential, it looks a little bit silly, but Na'Vi have to regroup here, and once again, low utility.
Smoke's over. Mac 10's going to be deadly against players without helmets. The crossfire looking good, though. Blame F, he does have a helmet. He saved the AK, remember. He'll be falling back. 4 versus 2, Electronic and Simple now. An iconic duo in CSGO right now. 35 seconds. Very possible they could win this.
Starts the misstep from the CTs, and it doesn't seem like Blame's going to be too interested, but Simple is lying in wait with that position. He will be able to challenge out. Oh.
15 seconds.
17.
Here we go.
Obo, look how passive he is. He still hasn't swung to check it. They do have an incendiary for him. What's his response? What is his response? He swings in. It's the perfect choice. And he leaps through out of the flames, maintains his life, and upgrades to a Krieg.
So you saw the small difference there. Instead of just swinging straight away, the incendiary lands. He sits in it for just, 1.5 seconds, just to make sure that they're not really looking at that. And the moment he comes through, smoke goes down as well. Their time's at 8 seconds. As long as he gets 1 kill there, round's done. He knows it as well. Very well played. He bought himself that extra second by sitting in the flames, taking damage. They weren't expecting it, and it's a double kill and double digits for Complexity as we get into round number 20 here. Full eco for Na'Vi. Should be a clean run here for the international squad.
Should being the operative word, but yes, I mean, a couple of P250s, 3 to be precise. It's not promising. They do have absolutely no nades, so not even one off the chimney to try and get that bomb down. This is just going to be a brawl, hoping for a misstep. You can see Obo unwilling to bend the knee.
Yeah, this is troubling times for Na'Vi right now. We will see them get into a proper gun round in the following, assuming a miracle round doesn't actually happen here. But to be playing your first 2 gun rounds of the game very compromised in terms of what you're bringing in utility-wise against a team who has already shown they're extremely proficient. They've already identified a lot of your tendencies. They've punished you for those tendencies within that first half. The same thing can be on the T side as Obo wants to get a little bit more aggressive this time round. Pushes on up quad with the Krieg and we'll get 4 quick ones.
Yeah, not bad at all. That is, he's looking very sharp now towards that quad position. 11-9, but the money falling back in favor for Na'Vi. Down, but certainly not out. Inferno is Complexity's worst map as a roster, holding only 36% of wins, 4 wins and 7 losses. And we'll hopefully see them start to pick things up. They're looking very good on their CT side. It's always nice to see the underdog come through and actually cause a bit of an upset to start a series.
And what more of a statement is it that this is Complexity's pick? We said that there was evidence of anti-stratting on their T side. Well, if they're picking a map that is statistically their worst, there is so much more of a nodding dog towards the anti-strat theorem.
You know what's insane?
Go on.
Is that even though they have that as the stat line, when they were playing at Blast, I believe it was, against Vitality, this is when Alex was still on the roster, they absolutely dumpstered them 16-5.
They had a great run in length, didn't they?
Yeah, it was insane. So,
well, they certainly put the hard work in, let me tell you. I can't stress enough when I was talking about Keita as a coach. He does absolutely everything for them. Anything they ask for, it's done within a matter of minutes, and they get what they need. He is the encyclopedia.
I love that. I love the idea that when Blame was saying he does everything, it's not like it's a cop-out. It's not like he's just saying, oh, he does everything. It's more of a, he does everything, anything.
Like I mentioned, he used to find our smokes for us way back in the day. I know how efficient he is, and he's great at that sort of thing. So, amazing coach to have. And you can see they are very well prepared and currently have an 11-9 lead, but it might not last too long as Flamey, he'll open things up, and that's Poison. The AWP removed here. And Boomich, he's behind enemy lines, deep behind them, in fact, in Library. He was there on the CT forces. It's going to be Obo first on the chopping block here. If he's not careful, gets himself in towards the graveyard, which is quite fitting given the current circumstances.
He does well to find the first. He's conscious of long. Survival would be ideal. Quite the opposite, thanks to Simple and his AK-47. The Kalashnikov of Electronic doing something similar. We will see the bomb go down and likely to save. You can see Blame already positioning himself to do so. So this will be the 10th for Na'Vi.
So that's 2 rounds now that Na'Vi have been able to use that arch-sided smoke. It's not the one that's landing in arch, but it's obscuring vision from the mini pit as well as Library, which does open up that avenue towards CT spawn. If you are the side of Complexity right now, maybe you can change and you can play 3 towards quad, maybe get that porch boost and fight for full mid control. Don't allow Na'Vi to go for that level of exploitation again, because they've used it to success, and well, once they've used it once, maybe they'll use it more and more.
I think you might be right. Time will tell if we can hold on to these initial rifles for Complexity. It looks like it's going to be secure, considering they're all making their way towards T-spawn at this stage. It's going to be Config and Blame F. They have got an AK between them and the M4A4, but we've got double digits now for Na'Vi. As Alex mentioned, this is the pick Complexity. Money is good still. They can purchase the AWP, but this is the opening kill from Flamey. Preemptive shot, saw Poison coming around the corner by the Shadow appearing. And Simple just doing simple things here. Electronic will join him, vaulting up and towards the hay bales. Lovely work there. And here comes the Poison orb.
If we can just note that Poison frag that you were talking about there, how that plays into how that smoke worked. Once Obo lost vision, they realized that they needed somebody to see if brackets was clear, and Poison pushing for information was just that next logical step. Unfortunately, there's no trade potential in that kind of scenario.
Yes, indeed. Another big round here. Money reasonable on both sides, but not ideal at all.
You asked for a deviation of their A setup. Well, you get it, Chad. They have got one boosted up on towards the arch side. Excuse me, quad side. And the smoke towards arch would be much less effective this time around.
The good thing with this is as well, if they hear nothing for a very long period of time, they can flash pick middle, have one individual have a look. If they're there, it might bait them into coming A. If they're not, or they can start that early rotation over towards B. So being in front of those smokes acts as not only information, but a very deadly crossfire.
And more than information, more than he bargained for. Perfecto. One bullet from Config.
Yeah, Perfecto hasn't done a whole lot so far. 6 and 15. He's the martyr of round number 22 as they make their way towards B. It's going to be an execution here with Flamey watching for flanks as they've got a full setup towards B. Very defensive, good smoke coming down, buys a lot of time. Simple trying to use that slight gap to see if anyone steps out of line, but BlameF is keeping his troops regimented. And for now, 30 seconds on the clock, and they still are ready and waiting outside B. BlameF with no utility. Poison, same story, but he's got that AWP. Let's see if he can make it sing.
That's one. Looking for another. Running out of time. Na'Vi are going to have to go ahead and commit through the flames. And great shot from Flame. He's been quiet, but that's some loud stuff from Flame. 3 in a matter of seconds. One clip from the M4 and 12 now on the board.
Yeah, that wasn't bad, was it? Making his way through. I love it when those plays deliver. When you come through the smoke, it's always a bit of a challenge. It's a gamble, but your teammates flash you in. We'll see it from his point of view. You can see it. It's Config is throwing the flashbang in from CT spawn. It's caught 2 of them. Big 3-man spray down there. We said it was a big round. You can see that evident on towards the screen now. We've got Mac 10s, a couple of Kriegs, and 1 Deagle here. It's enough for Na'Vi, more than enough to win a round, but you can see certainly struggling in this one. They try and break through the initial B defense. The player towards Sandbags, Electronic seems to know about it. Can't find him just yet. The last bullet of the Krieg will take him down. A double kill now. Has to go for that reload. They've got the man advantage, and do they continue here? Knowing there's a 3rd player on the site, rotations will be coming through. They could go back towards A and pretty much guarantee there'll just be 1 player at this point, considering the backup required towards a B side of the map.
Looks like Poison's kind of sussed it out. He has thrown some of his initial utility and then disappeared back towards A.
Yeah, this AWP is going to be key here, Alex, because if they, well, they don't even have enough nades to do a full execute with. They have enough to do a late B, just get that coffin smoke and CT smoke. But if they were to go A and Poison finds the opportunity to pick that gap over towards quad as they're trying to enter onto the site, he can pivot on out and find another as they transition to pit. That could be very dangerous. But if they stick to their guns of what it looks like right here, just go late B with these 2 smokes that we can see. A couple of simple flashes, nothing too crazy. You don't even need to trade out. Just kill the guy on the site. That's all we need to do, and the round should be done and dusted for Na'Vi here. And as they start to posture, lining everything up, the hit will come in momentarily.
Done and infernoed.
See what he did there?
30 seconds, 1 man to test. Blame, they are going to check you, and he's not going to let that happen. He brings the fight to them. Doesn't work out. A triple from Electronic in this round.
Yeah, that should be enough, I would say. Alex bombs to be planted here. Another successful pushing towards B. Na'Vi in the individual duels, we said it pound for pound, they are going to be stronger in that particular discipline of CSGO. It's the theory, the complexity have really shone brightly so far, but when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, Counter-Strike is all about hitting the headshots at the end of the day. You can have the world's best strats, but when you've got the world's best players, it might not be enough to topple them.
Yeah, and we have got ourselves a damn close game. 2 very different styles. If I watched anime, I'm sure I'd have a crazy good reference right now.
Maybe Chad can have something for us.
2 different fighting styles meeting in the arena. Obviously, this is like, you know, Chad, that guy and the other guy. And then
but I could do Hunter x Hunter for you if you wanted. I could talk about Gone and Kill You.
He wants either a UFC reference or an anime
A UFC reference?
Yeah, UFC.
A UFC
2 very different fighting styles.
All right. Brock Lesnar and Anderson Silva.
That's what we've got right here. Brock Lesnar in the corner.
I didn't want to say it, but I'm glad Chad did. Fit himself out there.
Brock Lesnar, we can say, is
former WWE star, right? That's his thing.
He moved. Yeah, he did go to wrestling.
He's the guy that looks like Stretch Armstrong.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He went to wrestling. Yeah, but he's a big man. He's a scary
big old dude.
Man.
Yeah, he looks like his skull's bigger than my thigh.
I would say that's probably accurate. Anderson Silva, one of the greats, bit of a technician.
So complexity is Silva, and Brock Lesnar's Na'Vi.
Yeah, they're a bit more of a blunt force.
Yeah.
They're just going to knock you out, if anything, right?
Certainly.
But anime references, look, I've only watched a couple.
I was thinking of like a Dragon Ball Z. I feel like, you know, they've got all these like famous fights and like, Goku and that guy with the green and the tadpole.
That's Piccolo.
Yep.
I could do I watched Dragon Ball Z a lot as a kid. That's another Miss Molly. We're seeing so many of these within the Pro League. I don't think ping makes you miss nades, guys.
I don't think so either. Maybe resting on their laurels a little bit too much in the free time here, Chad. We'll see whether they can recover though. Flashbangs now towards Banana. Splitting this one right down the middle. 12-11, 1 round separating them. CT side, not as impressive so far for complexity, but keeping their head above water. Na'Vi closing the gap slowly but surely. Towards B we go. Simple confirms there's no close range presence here from the CTs. Drops a Molotov to deny vision. They'll go back into an A execution within this window probably, just to confirm they can't actually see what's going on towards B. That Molotov should hold them at bay for a good 10 seconds or so.
Yeah, very quick and effective smoke thrown out from middle. That's from the back, top of T middle. All the way towards library side. You can see it there on the right-hand side of your screen. It's just going to block off any sort of long-distance CT hold of Long. And speaking of Long, Rush, he may not be on this world for long. And now swinging in is Obo. Good damage. Bombs on the balcony. 15 seconds. Na'Vi, they've had the wind taken from their sails, and they're giving them all the fights they could possibly desire. I can't believe it.
That shouldn't be happening, and that goes to show you what I'm talking about before. It's this individual prowess now of Na'Vi that's looking just unbelievable.
15 seconds. Henry.
We've had it from Boomage and now from Simple as well. That was unreal. I don't know how he gets away with that second kill of his. We need to see it from his POV. It looked sick. Like, that shouldn't be happening. No one should be able to play CSGO like that, but he's making it work and happen every single time.
Yeah, I mean, this guy dropped 50, 40-something in regulation, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it?
Yeah, close to 50 in regulation.
In regulation, he dropped 50 in the overtime. That was about 2 days ago, 3 days ago now. Of course, Group B alternating. So about 2 days ago would be a safe bet.
They had no business winning that round. And of course, Simple getting it done for the balcony. A couple of quick kills, complexity to open things up towards the A side of the map. Wasn't quite enough. It never normally is, and we'll have a look from Simple's POV now. First kill, pretty standard by his standards. We'll see the second, unreal. Obo, ready and waiting for it as well. Spray transfer with the Krieg. Lovely work, and we're going to find ourselves a 12-12 scoreline, but still some safe weapons. Is Config and Poison bringing the rifle and sniper once again.
Oh dear.
I'm interested to watch more from Simple's Krieg. It does seem like he's been taking it into the lab and has been refining some of that scoped spray. It's looking fierce. He's certainly looking rather confident with it, the weapon itself.
This is one of the rounds, Alex, where... okay, never mind. My point is completely null and void with Boomage's aggression right there. The ult's been taken out of Poison's hands.
He blames them well to keep things level, Chad.
Yeah, the fact that they get away with that, I thought Boomage was going to go on a bit of a rampage there, but I was about to say... This round with the AWP in play is one of the ones where you want your AWP player to go quite aggressive at the start to find you an opening. Unfortunately, with all his teammates around him, I think maybe he was lured into a false sense of security, and now the A bomb site's been split on open.
The cavalry just arrived, and immediately Perfecto's there to start his glue factory. That was a big find. Soon as the AWP arrives in library, he can just tap away. Didn't even need the scope for that frag. That will be 13 for Na'Vi. I say that with conviction as Obo turns tail towards CT.
So this was the eco, and they're leaving with what they started at least. The rifle and the AWP, and they've upgraded from the M4 to the AK-47. So not all is lost. They were never really going to win that round in terms of the percentage chances, but the fact they're leaving with more than they started with, that's promising, at least considering they're buying for it.
Na'Vi should, as that bomb get planted, start throwing out that net to chase, right? Their economy isn't great, but it's in a much better position than that of Complexities right now.
I guess, unfortunately, knowing Poison was the player that went down with the AWP before, they got to know it's towards B, and he'll be what? New boxes behind the fountain or somewhere like that towards Ruins. It's, I guess, a very difficult prospect to take him down. They're going for that, at least being inquisitive.
They're investigating.
They're having a little look. There may be a run boost. So that's the problem.
He got past, though, so if Obo tries to cross towards the site and doesn't just stay at coffins, maybe the CT player might be able to get the kill, but he is going to think better of it. They're going to definitely back down the hatches over on the B bomb site, and now Na'Vi have taken the lead.
Whew, what a game this is turning out to be. Perfecto, love this shot. No scope necessary onto Blame F, just a quick tap. He did actually scope.
That's all right.
It was from the hip in my mind.
Just scoped.
Yeah.
Flamey still down in the doldrums, but his team take the lead, 13-12. Money starting to stabilize on the CT side here. Haven't seen a massive amount of rounds in their CT campaign. We'll see if they can start to sink their teeth in now. Poison has had a good season, but in EPL hasn't really shown us his best form. Boomage at the very top, dancing around the flames here, checking out all the angles, and if anyone should know them, it's him.
Half-wall smoke and Molotov combo.
Oh, they respected it, but it was just a feign of it. They actually weren't pushing on that maneuver. They were merely sitting on back and hoping that the utility itself would do the job. They are, as I mentioned, making sure they don't get caught on out here. There won't be a late push. We can actually see, if taking a look at the mini-map in the top left, both players have situated themselves in the back line to the side. But now that Na'Vi has full banana control with a minute left on the clock, it should just be quite a simple B execute. You get the mollies and nades in it, and what they do very well is their individual ability to trade off of each other once they identify where these CTs are.
They throw one smoke, which pulls the CT smoke. It's a smart and effective way of pulling out that utility. And oh, Poison caught with an aid in his hand, and now a bullet in his brain. This is glorious from Na'Vi. Just like that, they strike.
That's what you want to see. That's how you take the B bomb side. They didn't see it coming. That's a pounce maneuver if ever I've seen one. Out of nowhere, a couple of smokes. The flashes are overwhelming. Everyone breaks through at the correct time, and only 2 players survive once again for complexity. It's a complete shutdown of Banana. And we will have the bomb planted at this point. Will they be challenging for kills once again? Obo and Rush holding on to this time the FAMAS and the AK-47. This lead is falling apart. It's going to go 14-12 at this stage, and Simple can smell blood in the water. Flamey looking to add frags to his total. Hasn't had the best game so far. You can definitely see why he wants to get stuck in. Knows they're going to be towards his A side of the map. One towards Pit, one in the apartments here. These are big kills. In the context of this map and the final result, if these 2 weapons make it to the next round, that's huge. If they don't, they could be in a lot of trouble here. Simple will find the first. Rush isolated now towards the bottom of this pit position. If he makes it, it'll be an absolute miracle. He'll have to just flush himself out here. There's no way he's going to be making it into the next round. They're coming for you, Rush. Do what you can. Fight with everything you've got. Can he take the AK-47 into the next round? He's pulled it off there. That could be the difference maker now. An AK surrounded by a partial buy might be enough to hold the wolf at the door. Na'Vi are certainly growling outside.
Yeah, and you can't blame them for calling the US Air Force tactical timeout. My goodness. Get that extra 30 seconds. Get your coach involved if you have to. But just take the breather. After the round before, I mean, this is a reminder of just how spicy the burst into the B site was that did put the 14th on the board for Na'Vi.
That was so well done from Rush there. I can't wait to see what the next round holds. It's only their first tactical timeout, but they are going to decide how they place their units. They've got enough loss bonus here for Deagles, MP9s, that saved AK. They have got talent in this squad as well. Be interesting to see who they operate with the AK-47. They're going to have to go for an early pick, and it could be enough to keep them in this game. Lose this round, they're in a lot of trouble. They've gone for absolutely everything here. The AK's on the ground for Rush, 2 M4s, a FAMAS, the MP9. It all comes down to round number 27.
This is where complexity have zero margin for error. They've put absolutely all of their chips across the table. And look at Rush charging in on such a crucial juncture of the game. Expecting backs turned, and he finds them. Will find Simple.
No.
It is traded by Electronic. It could have been 2.
Chad, do you reckon he gets 2 of his a clean first shot? He would be ready to reset. He'd have had
he
half
wouldn't
a
be
second
so
more.
flustered. Look, he definitely had a better shot at doing more damage.
Yeah.
Even if it was just half the HP falling off.
If anything now, he's given them the advantage.
Yeah.
A 4-on-4 on Inferno is the worst defender for this ruling. If you do go down to a 4 versus 4, you're spread thin on the CT side. They can absolutely wreck you with a 4-man execution. You're spread thin. It's a huge advantage out for Na'Vi. Config's low as well. So the push from Rush, it was a great idea. He just didn't quite stick the landing when he pulled the trigger.
Yeah. Brutal way to lose it as well. Just still taps into Simple on the logs. Expected it to be a converted kill.
See, Na'Vi are doing exactly what Complexity did. Once they have these situations, they just milk the clock. They force the CTs to go for these aggressive maneuvers, and if they don't, well, now they know they have to be separated in what is usually most likely a 2-2 formation, and that's what's happened here.
Yeah, and this is what makes it so powerful. It's a 4-on-2 situation wherever they go. We know the weaponry isn't there for the CT side right now. They're hunkering down. They're holding towards the apartments in the pit. Poison does not have his AWP, but he does have an incendiary. A smoke grenade's available.
20 seconds.
20 seconds. If he can get it down, there might be a chance here. They're pulling this one back. Good grenade as well. Poison's doing enough. Strong HE. Has to go towards the corner now. This is the final test. Na'Vi will get the bomb planted. He can't deny it, but he is staying alive in the 3-on-3, just holding that real estate.
Trying to smoke himself out, not necessarily to help Na'Vi, as you would have... Oh, actually, it does extinguish their Molotov as well. An aggressive line from Perfecto gets caught. Poison doing everything to just delay, but are they ready for that spot? It's Electronic tucked in on the corners. 2v2 now. Blame has to close the gap and finds the necessary frag. Boomich to clutch. He only has 23 points of health, excuse me. And being pushed in by 2. Has to be precise with the first. He won't get it. And Complexity with just enough time for the defuse.
Would have liked him just to hide at that point. I feel like that could have been a chance. They overlooked that one position because it was so unique in terms of the post-plant position he had chosen there. Had he maybe just held up, got one kill that wasn't defusing there, could have been enough. Went for the swing instead. You've got to give it a go, and doesn't work out for him. Complexity, remember, off that saved AK, managing to open things up here. That was from Rush. Gave him the confidence to kick things off in this manner, and they do stick the landings. Poison, dropping the smoke, and the tenacity that wins in the round there. The fact he stays alive so long buys them enough time to get players there, and they went out in the clutch. A very important one, but money is still weak here. Luckily, they have got a couple of Kriegs available to them. Master Robo and Electronic pushes past the Flames.
If they can deny Na'Vi from getting the plant in this round, as Electronic flirting with the edge of that smoke, and somehow he gets the better of Config there. How?
I don't know. He is doing some unspeakable things on the server right now. That Krieg of his, it's dialed all the way up to 11. It's insane.
I'm not even certain. Like, Config should have had all the advantages in the world in that situation. I know it's a left eye peek, right? Because he was at the top and he was only showing the left eye first. But coming out of the fringe of that smoke, Electronic is also having to be left eye peeking, right?
Sure.
So it must have been a pre-fire.
You're flabbergasted.
That right there is almost the game-winning entry if they're able to convert this round.
If they're able.
They're going for that mid-control. There is a big question mark still. This round is still very much in the balance. 40 seconds remaining. Poison hasn't had to operate with the orb too much on the CT side. Haven't really had the resources to, but that's not bad. He sticks for the second, though. I don't think I agree with that. That quick kill was a bit of a heist. I feel like knife out, get back, hold the defensive lines. You've kind of equaled things out at that point. The Fatty gives himself up, and they lose the situation they found themselves in. Is disappointing. 20 seconds, final finish towards A here. Molotov will actually hurt Rush a lot, down to 1 HP, but he survives somehow. If he gets one kill out of this, it's enough.
15 seconds. It will be enough if he gets one and he's in the perfect position to do it. Already Blame onto one. He's pre-firing. He's trying to keep them at bay. Flamey can't get this player off and they're going to fall back. Just like that, Rush surviving could very well have been the outcome to pull home 14th.
Oh, why did he move out of the pit for? Okay, that's fine. The fact they pull one back, we'll take it. But he had every opportunity to survive there. He did retreat. Unfortunately, didn't work out for him. Electronic. Have a look. I'm looking at the left.
Yeah, watching configs. Oh, you can't see anything.
So he definitely catches him. So it's just like, you can see from config, he sees a lot less than Electronic.
That's so strange, isn't it?
We're on Go TV, so it's not like for like what the players are seeing.
That's true. The smoke's a little bit different.
Just to note that, but it does give you an indicator that Electronic had the advantage at least.
Okay, wow. I did not expect that to be coming on through. That's a nice new one there to potentially be learning about, because they have been throwing that smoke to extinguish the Molotov time and time again. Maybe the smoke's intentionally as well, if it doesn't actually extinguish the Molotov, uses a bit of a one-way. Yeah, that's a... Or maybe I'm an idiot. Let's hope it's the former.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
If it was the latter, we might be in a bit of trouble here. But now Na'Vi are in a little bit of trouble, if you don't mind me saying.
Yeah, I don't mind it at all. They're going to bring out the simple orb on the T side for the first time here. Flamey and Perfecto haven't shown up to this one, but Boomage, Electronic, and Simple certainly have. It's a three-man army right now, looking to get to map point on their opponent's pick. Smoke down toward the deep of Banana. We are going to see a bit of a rebuttal from Electronic, just throwing grenades up, showing presence, but not actually committing towards a barrel position here. Just gets himself in towards the logs. He knows there's a chance of a late airstrike towards that position, so decides to pull back.
Can't blame him.
Both teams are screwed at the end. Like whoever loses this round going into the last, strap for cash. They got nothing.
You could say the winner of this round likely wins the first map.
we could say that.
Let's see. So Na'Vi, they've been running time right down to the point of a 15-19 second mark. It's been getting a bit crazy towards the A side. I'm intrigued to see if they give themselves just a little bit more of a cushion to deal and to flush out players. For example, like Rush, who did manage to just about keep his health bar full.
I did want to keep my eye on that arch-sided smoke, and they've just lined it up. They've actually just dropped it, so this looks like it's going to be a fake on it this time round. You see that arch-sided smoke has just dipped. We highlighted this much earlier in this half. And as we can see by the map, well, the bomb is actually headed back towards the B site.
Yeah, and yet they look to pincer in. Great shots from Blame. Double kill. Rush onto Flamey as well. That's the entire A side of this B hit. I promise it makes sense. And now Poison's holding on towards B. He's going to get caught out. Spot Simple. And already the frag from Config should confirm it. Simple's burning away. And Poison doesn't even have to peek.
You might be right. He'll be falling back here. Simple has to hold on to the AWP. 10 seconds remaining. It's going to be Complexity posting.
They should chase.
Map point first. They should chase. And they're going to, Chad. 3 players actually encroaching his position. He's gone down. That's massive. It's going to be Complexity now removing that AWP. Lost bonus not really there. It's going to be a 3rd stage for Na'Vi. That's $2,400 per player. And they do have a little bit of residual cash on Electronic and Simple. They've got enough for 1 AK-47 or Krieg, Galil's, SMGs, Deagles, that sort of thing. You get the picture as Na'Vi take their first tactical timeout now in round number 30.
Comes down to this, my goodness. 1 minute 55. We thrust onto the clock and we will wait to see how Na'Vi intend to make Deagles and 3.5k enough to secure overtime. This was Complexity's map pick. If you have joined us, missed the pre-show, we had both Blame F from Complexity and Boomich from Na'Vi, in-game leaders in their respective teams, talking a little bit about this game, and we learned an awful lot. And we're going to be seeing if Complexity, all of that hard work, is going to culminate in their map victory.
Ooh, Simple's actually...
They've set... Now, I remember a year ago, this was quite the opposite of what Na'Vi would be doing, but instead, it looks like they've invested their rifles into their 2-star players.
Makes sense, doesn't it?
It does.
It does all come together when you think about it. So we'll see whether they can actually close this out and take us to overtime. You've laid down some nice context, Alex, but the grenade does have some gravitas attached to it. Takes Electronic down to 43. Blame F off angle now to challenge with this Krieg. Happy to do so.
Don't do it, Electronic.
And he's got low HP as well, Chad. You do have to question that one. I guess he was hoping to find an AWP on the other side, but essentially just offers himself up for free.
He has to be the bottle opener for the team. He's been the one finding a lot of entry frags throughout. But look, I understand why he's gone for it, thinking that no one else is going to do it. This is my job. I need to find the frag. But going down that early, the AK needs to be retrievable.
It was underwhelming, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think he wasn't expecting that double nade to chunk him on down at the start, unfortunately. But it does look like this will just be an all-in towards the B-bomb site.
Yep.
See if Simple can get some kills. That's the strat.
This is the Molotov towards Emo. That's back right, and Blame F is there. It won't take him down. So that certainly will. Simple's been removed, and the Molotov has actually made things uncomfortable. Hasn't landed perfectly here. It looks like Complexity have done enough. Couple more players to find as Config throws out the flashbang. It's just a formality at this point. Surely they won't be able to get themselves back into it. He just needs to buy time. Flash is coming through. USB drawn. Headshots delivered, and it will be 16 of 14 for Complexity. They pick up Inferno. It's their map pick against the #1 team in the world right now. Na'Vi will topple in the first map.
Shots in the man with the plot and we only go bombs away. Ain't no one protecting my mind as a weapon, that's why I'm a diamond there. Taking advantage of every second, now I ain't got time to waste. They all tryna sign my name, they want me to sign my name. Counting the blessing while I count that in my winnings. We take 50s and 100s and throw them up to the ceiling. Everything I envision, not everybody gon' witness. Only difference between us is I ain't stop till I finish, yeah. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. I always wanted the world, I wanna conquer the world right now. I feel on top of the world, I feel on top of the world right now. Embrace your destiny, slay your enemy, raise a legacy. No more apologies, trust your abilities, gather the energies. Pull yourself back together and staying off track forever. Child of the nation, will seek redemption, time for salvation. Today is meant to be day of victory, time for history. Reverse the tendency, fight the entropy, channel your rivalry. You're praying for fortune to come, you're hearing the sound of the drums. It's too late to backtrack, but back your back now. Keep your feet on the road and stand up. You've got what it takes to fight back. Don't stop until you black out, out, out. Stand up, up. You've got what it takes to fight back, back. Don't stop until you black out, out. Give all you got.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the ESL Pro League season number 11. It's just going to be me at the stand-up this time round for your hot match of the day. We've got Na'Vi versus Complexity. Map number 1 was Inferno, and if you missed it, well, this is kind of how it went down. This is the round timeline for you here, and as you can see, a 16-14 game all the way down to the wire. There was a lot of moments there where Na'Vi looked like they were going to get their individual form to carry them across, but we were extremely impressed with what Complexity were able to do from a strategic and counter-strategy point of view. I want to run you through one of their strategies here, which it's an old school one. We're going to get this one going. It's actually over on the A bomb site. So what I first of all want to do is set you up with a bit of context. So they've already got halls and boiler control. All the boring defaulting around has already happened. You can get straight into the action. You can see 3 individuals, Config, Poison, and Mr. Blame F. Oh, I can't get my third circle to work. They're setting up smokes in alt mid. Now, you guys maybe remember this if you're old school Counter-Strike fans. Back in the old versions of, oh, it's a little bit laggy right now, guys. We might have to take a bit of a tech look at this later, but hopefully it's playing. Here we go. You're going to see this wall of smokes landing over towards pit. We're going to pause it once they bloom. 1, 2, and 3. Now you can see here the flashes are already coming on over, but the idea behind this smoke wall is to potentially isolate players in the pit. Now we'd see this smoke wall before where the T's would come on out, they'd actually run through the, we're having some troubles here, run through the smokes and push on into the pit position to clear it on out and isolate those CTs. Now in this situation, when we get to play it, you can see here nobody's in pit. No one's here to receive, and the guys from that of Complexity are able to get control. It's this next stage that I really want to focus on here. So have a look at Blame F. He's in the back of pit. We've got Obo just under the balcony here. They're going to be using utility from this point to help flush out any rotating CTs. We're going to see a Molotov from Blame F. It's going to land in the back of sight. It's going to help them out with the jewels that they need to be taking. And the smoke from Obo actually bounces and covers off more towards the lane side of Arch. That means when they get Config to come out halls, as he picks on out in a second for you, here it comes now, they can have multiple members with their focus over towards this library and mini pit position just here. So this right here was a really good strategy, and I liked it from Complexity. We saw them run it twice. We saw some good stuff from that of Na'Vi as well. We're going to load up one of their rounds here. This was a force buy situation. Actually, no, this was a late B situation here. And it's the way that they pounced after throwing this one smoke. So we're going to focus on this smoke that's going to land over towards coffins. And what that does is it automatically baits out a CT smoke that the Ts are actually going to use to their advantage. So look at this. Mr. Electronic has actually got himself standing right behind the smoke here, and we're about to see a bunch of flashes come on over the roof, and they explode straight into this bomb site. So we'll play this one out. You can get all the action. Here we go. Electronic about to be flashed on through, Boomich entering as well, and they get onto this site nice and easy, no dramas there. Unfortunately for Na'Vi, Complexity took this one 16-14 as we covered. We do have Dust 2 coming up on next, so we want to get this one to a break so we can get the action back underway. We'll see you guys soon.
We'll have to do it all. Config here's a flank. He's going to go back. Face crack dead as well. That opens up a room. He could go A, but he's been spotted, and Config has a chance to ace this round. Perfecto, he's going to fast long play. Flash is good. They line up. It's three. All of the frags.
One, Jerry and Foot have made this doable, but Electronic suddenly from nowhere, from main, has been a real pain. The triple kill for Electronic.
You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
He wasn't the classic nerdy computer kid in school. He was one of the ones to get a girlfriend first and a very social person.
Typical for Finn is that he is very determined.
Ist egal, ob es jetzt beim Kartenspielen ist oder beim Tischtennis oder beim Computer, er gibt nicht auf.
What he really wants is to win a major. It's his dream, and therefore it's also my dream for him to get that.
Cool, right? Want to know where I got it? Well, look, go to CS.money. It's a trade platform and a marketplace at the same time. Just choose, click, and get. Good luck, bro.
Everybody loves an underdog. Who needs to be liked?
Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
Charge up your game with excitement. Highest odds on the market. Take what's rightfully yours with GG.bet.
My name is Jordan Gilbert, aka Nothing.
Hi, my name is Sue Lee. My handle is Smix. I think it's important for these initiatives to happen. Empathy really, really goes a long way, and it always means so much to us, and I think that's where initiatives like this really help.
I encourage everyone in the community, anytime they see bullying, anytime they see someone getting called names, or I encourage you to step up and say something.
Good luck, have fun.
Good luck, have fun.
Clash of steel spills your blood. A whisper dies.
from the ether. All I hear is static. Breathe a little deeper. Fallen, broken, a million light years away from home. My eyes opened, and now I've come to claim life. Never let it go. These wings carry me. Live this fantasy. Running through the fire, gonna let it burn. I am the Messiah, gonna let it burn.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, Gaming Malta, Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, CS Money, MSI, Air Force, GG Bet, and ESEA.
Complexity, Na'Vi, and already the first map goes the way of rank 30. Complexity, they did their homework from the US survey, certainly the organization, but this team, they're from around the world. The dastardly Danish duo, Blame F and Config, paired with two Americans, a young talent and a major winner, that of Obo and Rush, respectively. And then, of course, the cherry on top, we do have the Bulgarian secondary. Not a bulldozer, because we've got Mr. Cirque, we have Mr. Poison. Perhaps
Don't eat his cherry.
He's like a lump of coal that they're going to press into a diamond.
Exactly. He hasn't really blown me away as of late. I know he's got the potential to be an amazing AWPer, but he has to step up in Dust 2. If ever there was a map, this is where we need to see him shine.
Yeah, and the guys from Complexity don't mind a bit of Dust 2, right?
Yeah.
So Na'Vi picking onto this and looking a little bit lackluster as a team there. We obviously had 3 individuals who were fragging quite well, but Flamey and Perfecto, they were nowhere to be found,
This
right?
is the problem with Perfecto I find right now. I feel like he is a decent player and he can clutch for the team, but he seems to drop off more often than I've noticed, to be honest.
Yeah, he definitely hasn't. He's not a player who they've come in and made room for.
Yeah.
There's a player who's come in and said, "This is where you're playing." They've obviously had to accommodate him in certain positions, right? But they want you if you have Electronic and Simple in your team, that's my weapons, right? That's who I'm focusing all my attention on here. But the problem I have right now is just that a level of homework the Complexity had done purely just to get Boomich, right? Just to assault Boomich with nades round after round with the positions he loved to play. Dust 2 is going to be the same.
Well, we know Na'Vi's tendencies. Again, we have cast them a lot on Dust 2. We know they focused that long position time and time again. I feel like there's going to be a lot of anti-stratting and awareness and pushes and knowing the tendencies that Na'Vi don't seem that aware of. But the problem is, after experiencing what they did on Inferno, they might be overthinking certain scenarios now. I'm leaning towards Complexity at this point. I feel like they've got the upper hand just from the theory side of things.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm also, with all of that said, the fact that we've seen Complexity have done their homework, we know Na'Vi's Dust 2 is predictable, and then I'll throw a third on top of that. I also am concerned that we're going to be seeing another big boy performance from the individuals of Complexity. We've seen Config looking hot, and I have no doubt that this is the perfect map for a Danish aim star to continue to flex.
Absolutely. Blame F looked stunning towards the end as well. His Krieg is looking sharp, and that weapon does very well on Dust 2. It's a very fast, aggressive map here as we move into what could be the final map of the evening. Tell your friends, let's get stuck in with some world-class Counter-Strike here. Na'Vi looking to bounce back on Dust 2, and Complexity, they're keeping up with them. They have the map under their belt. Inferno was theirs, but still, this could be a very difficult one to pick up.
In a must-win game right here, Henry, this is to keep your chances in ESL Pro League alive. You lose here, well, unlucky. We'll see you next time round. You get the win, you give yourself an opportunity to come back and fight another day, and that day will actually be tomorrow. So the pistol's underway, utility's been brought on out, and let's get going.
Day 4. See where we're heading towards. It's Simple with the P250 is what you like to see, and he makes his way forward, but he has been spotted. No bullets connecting just yet, but Rush will be tagged in the shoulder down to 82. Poison already towards the pit, and they're so focused on that corner position. Poison, the re-challenge there. It's Simple just making them look foolish there.
Yeah, I mean, you just send Simple. We just said he's one of their weapons, and you can see that they've equipped him appropriately for that job title. Kevlar vest and the P250. Can't buy that all on yourself. Does require a bit of team consideration. Already, Electronic's going to go ahead and add another one to the tally, and oh, they are just getting cleaned out. Last man is Blame F, and he does hear one in middle. It will be Flamey, who's looking to get a little bit of a stronger start into this. With a simple hunting will have his job taken by someone else. And we do see the first frag, only frag for Complexity, at least take Simple's weapons away. We do see him go straight for that Krieg armor, though. Let's see these from his POV.
Brutal scenes there. Not safe for work.
Watermelon heads.
Keep that one in a small tab at the office.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious me.
Oh, the Force Buy, the Scouts, the Deagles, the Nades. Lots of damage on the cards here if you are Complexity. But straight into the long play. Hold up.
Wait a minute. Perfecto. He actually does beat that nade. He's still sitting 100 HP.
Well, his teammates certainly didn't. Flamey and Simple got wrecked by it. 2 nades make their way in towards the double doors, and there's a chance here now for Complexity. That means the Scout can take down Simple in one shot. He still has the Krieg for now as Perfecto. He's going to give him the Mac 10. Simple.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's going to hold the pit, I assume, with the range
Headshot
advantage
angle,
and just try and pick them off and try and use it like a sniper, which is fair enough.
Well, you said they go long, Henry, and we've got 4 long. It's the Na'Vi T side.
Yeah.
Normally, you'd sit here, and I'm gonna read you here. Normally, you'd sit here and say, "Well, they've got about 30 seconds, Alex," and actually, they are gonna have no issues running this clock down because he's just found another head. Simple with his low HP. You give him the Krieg, and look at him go another.
They've just smoked Xbox as well from T-Spawn, so they're suggesting there could be presence towards short as well. So far, so good. This call to get Simple in the pit is beautiful, but where's the smoke on the cross? They might have dropped the ball here. They should be absolutely fine for the round still, but Obo, gives his position up. What was he firing at there? Hits a shot on towards Flamey. Still a slight chance here for the CTs, but they don't have any utility. Ball makes his way forward. 2 HP will be planting at this stage. It goes down. Obo can't do anything about it.
Yeah, not much more they can do, I would assume, but you know what happens when you assume? It makes an ass out of you and me because they are boosting
Is
up
it a
onto
safe
the side.
plan?
I think it's a safe plan. If they can get across, Simple's crosshair, another one gets across. This time it's Rush. They have to close the gap, and he knows it. Missing the shots, and it's head on hands, raised eyebrows from our Counter-Strike casters.
Why did they face him?
I don't know.
I know he's quick, but he's not that quick.
Yeah, you definitely could have just ran to the bomb and just got a defuse going with 3 players up there. You actually just legit. This was the moment here. The apprehension, the stop. I would just
this one.
That was the offender there, really. Like you could have got 1 player on the bomb and had 2 players hiding, at least force them into it. I feel like that should have been the call. Bit of panic, and the force play doesn't work out for them. Probably going to send 3 nades in towards long doors here, because that's where Na'Vi go every single round. Here come the nades. They will beat them on the first, but they take a lot of damage. Perfecto makes his way towards blue bin. Mac 10, though, going to make light work of the first couple of players. Flamey just chews through them here. Bit of help from Boomich as well. Looking for that clean sweep config. The last player remaining.
If you're a Complexity fan right now, you better hope they have more than nades is the idea to stop this long take, right? You need something that's a little bit more outside of the box. When you know that they're taking long, you need to take the map territory that they're leaving straight away from them. You need to be thorough. You need to clear it. You know they're going to sit there and they're going to wait. You need to have a bunch of different maneuvers as they're crossing. Maybe hold on to your utility as once they do that smoke wall. Carpet the A-ramp with Molotovs. Make sure that their life is a little bit more difficult. We have seen this approach work. This is what got them into the driver's seat over there in Katowice. It was time and time again they were pulling it off. It was baffling to see that nobody could come up with a maneuver on the fly. These individuals, once they get this long position, they just seem to strike fear into the hearts of everybody.
They're just charging down middle, sending Boomich in with a Mac 10. He'll call it clear, as you will, and then retrieve back to his squad.
First big gun round here. We said Poison had to deliver. Entering the round with the AWP, no armor, but long presence here. We have got Rush tucking himself in. He gets the shadow advantage, but it's very common these days. See whether he can take advantage of it. Flamey on the other side, and Rush has no helmet. Bear that in mind. There's only 1 helmet out there for Obo. Those Mac 10s are going to be ridiculous in this round. It's looking so good for Na'Vi in terms of map control. They've got short. 3 players there. They've shown presence towards B. They're just on the dribble smoke inside the B bomb site, so that's going to keep 2 players on that side of the map. That's Obo. He can't move. Blame F, the transition player, not sure where to head towards. I'm not even sure where they're going to finish up here on the Na'Vi side. I can see everything. Rush still waits patiently. Now here comes his push. Does he go down? Remember, no helmet. Mac 10 takes him.
That's a nasty way to go, and a huge upgrade for Flamey. Perfecto on to blame F as well. That's CT clear. Will they go A? Will they go B? Poison's not sure. 28 seconds. He's still not sure. B does seem quiet. He knows they're coming now. The smoke plumes. He does have an opportunity, but long coming. And he is exposed. Flamey likely to find him, tucks himself in. Checking it now as they walk into the site. He exposed for just a moment. That's madness. Simple was trained on the car, and that's enough for the save call to come in from the CTs.
Looks like Na'Vi went and had a look at themselves in the mirror after that first map finish, because these first 4 rounds have been fantastic stuff. Everybody's hitting their shots. They don't look flustered. They're staying quite poised. Very good stuff here.
I think you're dead on there, Chad. No one seems to be dropping the ball here. Complexity don't have a response for the brutal headshots that are being delivered time and time again. There's another one. Simple gets his hat trick, and we are going to get 4-0 on the board here. It's going into round number 5, maximum loss bonus, as Complexity will be working out their options. You can't really buy into this round. It'll be a partial approach here with the scouts, the deagles, more of the same,
more
really.
Nades.
And more nades, that's for sure, yes. And it works in a map like Inferno, Chad, because it's a very tactical, slow-paced affair. Dust 2, it really is down to the spawn base. They're hitting the shots, just working as a pack. We talked to JW about this. He loves the map for those sort of reasons, and it makes sense that a team like Na'Vi would also be thriving in this environment.
It's insane, the Dust 2 we've seen the last couple of days. It's just been the B rushes, and now Na'Vi, well, they want to change it up and go with the A takes. Just keep taking long, rinse and repeat. Turn it into an aim map. You have some of the best mechanical players in the entire world on your team here. Why would you not just take long control and turn it into a glorified aim map?
Yeah, and I mean, Simple this time is going to be having some challenges in middle. His Krieg is feeling like it refined from the last time I've seen him play.
I think so, yeah. It does look a lot crispier than usual, doesn't it? Which is saying something.
I think if we have the opportunity to ask him, it would be worth a question if he's been pouring more time into it, because he's kind of just using it in lieu of an AWP, right?
Yes. And that pit play alone, we saw a few rounds ago, that was insane.
That was an AWP spot, right?
That's a player calling for a rifle drop on 30 HP because he can use it like a sniper rifle. That's the kind of level we're dealing with right now. It's nuts.
A good way to summarize.
Yeah.
Bomb will go down thanks to Perfecto. Not much these guys can do, of course. Take a look at their bias. Just Deagles and Scouts with the bomb down. No kids, no hope, no nades. It's all just a question of maybe catching one of these hungry Na'Vi players.
I want that safe plant they keep doing with the lion's share of their forces towards long to come back to bite them in a round here. Yeah. I understand why they do it. There's no way that you can die to a CT boost. You can't die to the cat pick or anything along those lines. Of course, you can still be harassed with nades as we get Electronic just finishing them off towards Catwalk. But if it does become a drawn-out gun round or a drawn-out retake, that position that they're planting in, it's no good. You can't bank on that. That's something that hopefully when we get into the further rounds, we don't see crop on up.
Oh, now that is interesting. Obo is second in the 1vx clutches stat alongside Tabson, and I didn't catch the second
Flusher.
name. Flusher? Makes sense.
The weird thing is, I got the opportunity to ask Blame F about Obo over there in London during the Blast event, and asked him about whether Owen was a clutcher or not. He said, no, not really.
Not really.
Not really.
Not really part of his game. Rush will be keeping things level for now, but it only lasts so long. A 3-on-2 still favors Na'Vi. They're 5-0 up as well. As Config and Obo desperately try and claw this round back in their favor, but the big man has made a big play in towards the B bomb site. He has found the player in CT spawn. That's going to be Obo, and it should be the round done. Config will be the last player remaining on the A side. Sat in the smoke, bombs in T-spawn, and he actually has zero chance of doing much of this. He is locked in by Electronic, who seems to be waiting in the pits right now, and at this point should be going down momentarily.
They have won all of these rounds so far by elimination. They haven't even needed to win with the bomb explosion, right? They haven't even, Complexity hasn't even been in a position to save. And if you have a look right now at the ADR between Electronic and Simple, Electronic has 111 points of ADR. Simple has 188.
He's 11-1. We'll put it up on the screen as well. You can see Chad is absolutely right. Every round won by virtue of kills, not explosions. They haven't really had to plant the bomb at all. Hasn't been part of the game as of yet. Throw as many grenades as you like, but Na'Vi are looking clinical with the rifles. We're seeing Config after a very impressive performance on Inferno 0-6. Poison still can't perform here, Chad. Dust 2, he has to step up.
Yeah, I'm going to let Obo and Config, who I believe is the other B holder, off the hook for this
B
entire
bombs,
game.
yeah.
They're off the hook. Until
haven't
they
been there
start
once.
going B, those two guys
Good
in terms
point.
of their frag contribution off the hook. If all three of your A defenders are dead within the first 15 seconds of the round, I'm not expecting
Fair.
you to come on through and be able to achieve too
enough.
much.
Yep.
Totally. We are going to be seeing the partial coming in from Complexity then. And Config looking to avoid the rather damning James Bond. He's living more like GoldenEye for the first, but not quite the Golden Gun, only the first. Now Blame F backing away after his initial damage, chipped away at Boomage quite nicely.
I was an odd job kind of guy. How about you, Henry?
Odd Job was banned in my circle of friends.
Okay.
Didn't he have a different hitbox?
Yeah, no, just a different model completely. He was like 2 foot taller, shorter than everyone else. So, and he like ran around like a madman.
That's just like a hyper dwarf.
Yeah, it was stupid because then the fact you couldn't really aim fast as well, you couldn't even hit him. It was ridiculous. So he was banned in my circle of friends. Doesn't surprise me that Chad be bringing him out, taking all the advantages he can.
Scumbag maneuvers.
Yeah, I used to play as Jaws, so that was my play.
Well, my parents didn't actually buy me GoldenEye. I was stuck with Pokemon Snap and.
I don't even know what Pokemon is. That the one you take pictures of the Pokemon?
Yeah, dude. You jump in a boat and you go around and you take pictures of the
Sounds kind of fun.
That sounds...
Rush, what are you doing? Not much is the answer. Electronic, quite the contrast. Immediately transferring to find Poison on the site. And 7 is on the agenda for round 7.
Yeah, I still remember the day I played GoldenEye for the first time.
So
Christmas
good.
morning, 1999. Unbelievable scenes when you open the box. Couldn't believe it. Mario Kart's in there, GoldenEye, all the big names, the big hits.
Did you play 1080?
1080 was in there as well.
I love
1080 snowboard. Remember that? 1080.
That game
came
was
into the main
sick.
menu. That was the whole thing. I think Alex, this might have been a few years.
I have all the parallels for that. Like SSX Tricky was
your
my
PS2 era. Then,
exactly
right?
PS2 era.
So yeah, I started like 1991.
Cousin had the PS1, so like I had the GTA at the cousin's house.
Yes. Okay, so
Tony-
you got
did you
the
get the Tony
experience.
Hawk's?
Yeah.
Sound turned
Tony
off.
Hawk's,
the
of
bad
course.
words.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Mum comes in and we immediately start like shove the FHMs under the bed and we're up, turn the TV off and panic.
I remember that so well those days. Well then, 7-0. A game Complexity will probably want to forget so far. They are getting absolutely wrecked here. They're all will be purchasing the AWP. Poison has to start showing some form here. But it's intimidating, I get it. You're up against Simple, who's playing an amazing game so far. You're not necessarily feeling yourself. You haven't really found any frags yet. And you're given the task of saving the day because you're getting absolutely steamrolled at this point.
Poor Config. He gets tagged on there with the spray through the smoke.
Yeah, we're seeing that a lot these days. It does so much damage. As one bullet hits, it seems to do at least 30 damage on the cross.
Which is why they're so repetitively just not opting through the doors, but more just through that tiny gap because you can get that extra reduction in damage fall off, double negative, positive, and all that.
Well, it hasn't been the standard long take here from Navi. It hasn't been the fast mid take either. They've just been a little bit more slow and methodical with round number 8 on the board, expecting a change up for Complexity, but they're doing same. Poison posted with the AWP, only 1 kill to his name. Rush will be anchoring down towards long. Blame's job is to cover off CT spawn rotation and help out A. Oh, Blame's in B. Okay.
Ooh,
kind of awkward. He'll have to do what he can to get out of this sticky situation. Molotov won't be super effective. It's not like that's a tight choke point. He can dance around. That's a wasted Molotov, you ask me. Obo's still fine with it as they go into an A finish here. Smokes all over the bomb site, designed to nullify AWPers. You'll probably see similar avant-garde smokes. We've seen every team deploy this these days. So here come the flashbangs, and only 1 smoke down so far. Poison, got to step up here. This is his role, his job. Smoke down to block his vision is going to be very difficult to do. So they've actually already got towards the site. They've done such a great job of shutting him down, but not if he hits a shot like that.
Yeah, this is why he's in the team for shots like that. We talked about him being, a rough cut diamond. My goodness. That one certainly does cut relatively sharp. Look at Flamey's position. He is spot on if they weren't all rotating through CT.
But the information does give his teammates in the site the fact that it can only be a long and a CT spawn retake here. They don't have to worry about catwalk at all.
And so their attention's in all the right places. There's going to be a lot of CTs just across the periphery, and Poison's got another one into the site. Complexity hungry for their first round on the board, and they've got it. Do they have a kit? They do. It's on Rush. He's defusing. Life is good. 1 under the hood.
One of many, I hope. It's going to be Poison that does save the day. He gets 3 kills in total there, Chad, and under very difficult circumstances as well. And that's going to be an absolute brilliant performance as well. The fact that he was actually smoked out, flashed off, you can see it was by design to take him out of the round. The shot he hits, he had no business to, but it's a great, lovely little flick there.
It's quite appropriate as well, considering Obo got punished for his jump peak, and then immediately we get to see the round end with Poison punishing a jump peak.
Complexity is still fully invested into this round, even though they won the previous. They've got no resources going forward. They do save the Krieg, though, in the hands of Config. Maybe that'll be the fire lit beneath from this point to start performing. As Chad mentioned, though, they haven't really gone towards B. That could change around number 9. You're seeing 2 players towards the tunnels right now, including Simple's AWP. Perfecto waiting for any challenges close range. Just seeing if anyone dares tempt fate on that side of the map. For now, though, playing very passive. It's going to be Config at the back there with Blame F. See him just checking towards middle. Molotov's towards a cubby. Nade in response. Good nade at that. Perfecto accepted the fact he's low. Just looking for headshots now. I feel like Config's going to be overzealous here. Maybe overcommit. They have fallen back, though. So 1 minute on the clock. Bomb still top of middle. Still plenty of smokes. 4 to be exact on the Na'Vi side of things. 3 Molotovs as well. And back towards A they go. They haven't really finished up a B at all, really.
No, but at least they let the B defenders know that there is a likelihood they might want to cheat on over there at some point. So they're just keeping there on their toes. Now we're going to go for another one of these A executes. The question for me is this going to be the variation where Boomich drops?
Yeah, I think it might be. There will be some sort of variation there. Poison's trying to adapt now. Which I like. I don't mind this. The thing is, it's such a committed position. He has to hit this and get out. He drops down. Great call. He's got some survivability now behind him.
The A's open.
Wide open. And Na'Vi are going to start to commit. Boomich flashed into the site. We'll check out the Goose position. 20 seconds for their plant. And it does go down. They're all scarpering towards the shorts, given the short plant. Electronic wants to challenge, will get the first and disappear really well to not take a single point of damage. Config to contest and already having some issues. We do see Na'Vi already having a fair share and a fair shot from Electronic down to Blame F. 1v3, 1v1 now. Already Electronic tagged up to 50. 1 bullet will do, and Blame F, a monstrous clutch to secure a must-win round for Cole.
Yeah, it absolutely was that, Alex. It didn't look like they stood a chance either. Even after finding the first pick, it seemed like the A execution was too strong. Poison with the AWP had to be removed from the round, jumping down, and it was the Kriegs that started connecting with every dome of complexity. But Blame F and those strong arms has carried them across the finish line here. It's a great clutch coming through and absolutely must win for complexity. They'll take a tactical timeout brought to you by the US Air Force here just to calm everyone down. The adrenaline will be surging through those veins as well. Just have to work out that financial system as well.
Precisely what you mentioned in the previous about the fact they were already strapped for cash. They had to invest completely. This time round, with only one individual surviving, it's much harder to make that budget work. They need to drop across whatever they can and decide what type of a round they want to go with as an approach, because there definitely will be a couple of omissions here. We're not going to be seeing a very strong buy on the side of complexity, whereas Na'Vi, they're happy to do this all again, and I would be expecting maybe we see them go back to that A approach, back through long doors.
It's so brutal. When the game goes this way and the T's get a flying start, it just feels like Na'Vi are going to have enough cash for the rest of the half. These poor CTs just will not be able to break them unless, admittedly, they can get a couple of clean ones strung together. Poison does miss his shot. That's forced by the flashbangs of Na'Vi. More of a reaction to his screen going white than anything regarding aim.
It's not very often you see Simple with his movement right there as he's coming out long doors. We'll still get on across to pit, and now they know where Poison is isolated.
How does he get out of there? Okay, so he's throwing his own smoke. That's going to enable his escape. There isn't a gap for Simple to punish, and so Poison might... Oh, I said there wasn't. And there is a gap. Poison, through his own design, finds the frag, and now complexity. They could be poised for a third consecutive round here.
They've got them locked in towards long as well. The rotating CTs, happy just to hold the defensive lines. Poison starting to wake up now. He had to. Does he have to challenge this again, though? That's the question. Trying to get vision towards the pit. Players there, and connects another one. Flamey goes down, looking for more. Poison keeps adding to his total here. That's more like it. That's why he's brought into this team. A monstrous round from him. He manages to get 4 kills in total. It was very quiet at Inferno from Poison, but this was such a delicious round from him. Look at him go. 4 kills, flashbangs from Blame F as well. Beautiful stuff. And we've got 7-3. Money not quite broken yet due to the fantastic start there from Na'Vi. But this will be the last of their gold. We'll see what they've got left over. Still 4K on Perfect to be fair, and 3 for Flamey. So got one more buy in them. This goes to show you how strong it's been so far.
Well, to Alex's point, the fact that they had such a huge lead and such a big bank, now the loss bonus is going to be in their favor, even if they are to drop this one, right? We'll have 4th stage loss bonus going into the next. That'll be 2,900. That'll be good to buy, no dramas.
Yeah, good point. And that's if they don't get the bomb down.
Yeah. What a scary time for Complexity here. No matter, even if they post the round, they know they're going up against a buy.
Yep. It's been the case for the last 3, admittedly, so perhaps eventually they'll be able to break the bank of Na'Vi.
7-0 start if you're just joining us, but Complexity do have a map under their belts. Inferno went all the way. 30 rounds, led us to a 16-14 scoreline in favor of the North American organization. An international squad currently based in Europe. HE, good one from Config. Tons of damage there.
That's lovely.
It's significant when the FAMAS and the M4s are out, means there's dink potential now for Electronic. This will be the B commitment. Oh, I like the fact they're not going off this and they've done the 2 smokes. It's very convincing. You would assume they are as the Boomich drop now. And Config is aware of it. Remember, they know the tendencies of Na'Vi. Boomich is ready and waiting, and he absolutely schools Config.
Yeah, but Poison is going to be tested again on this A site. He didn't anticipate Electronic had crossed that far already and just punished by the preserved aim of Mr. Electronic. Oboe, blame F. They're going to have to pull back and save whatever they can. Nice to take the Krieg into this one. You can see Oboe has had a quiet one, just picked up half of his kills so far this half in this round, and now just to keep hold of his weapons. Flamey's being very loud about this, and so this should be a guaranteed second Krieg for the CT side if Blame wants to come and retrieve it.
Oh, let's have a knife over.
Do it, Oboe.
Come on.
Nah, I don't think it's in him yet. I don't think he's quite there yet.
It's fair enough. You're 2-9. You got a Krieg in your hand. You don't want to risk it, do you? You'd look like a bit of a twat if you gave that one up.
You would.
A git.
Yeah. So he will be just making sure it's a guaranteed kill. Not quite as exciting, but it will be the round guarantee for Na'Vi. Their shots they're hitting with these Kriegs, boys. There's not much you can do against it. That A take they had there, it was Poison ready and waiting. The smokes were very well placed.
Look at Electronic score, boys.
16-3. Means his ADR must be out of control. He's got 125 ADR simples. That's dropped down now to 104. But still, the names you want at the very top, there they are. Electronic and Simple, the star players, looking very, very promising indeed in this first half campaign on the T side of Dust 2. Money is going to be a problem for the CTs going forward now. What kind of investments will they have? It's not too bad. A couple of rounds in a row has led them to at least the rifles, saved Krieg here, and the AWP.
That's an interesting stat line, right? They're purely at majors on Dust 2. Both Sybil and Flamey share the highest rating of all time, 1.27. So majors, if you're not a Counter-Strike aficionado or you're not watching all the time, they are our World Cup, I suppose we could put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, our Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Valve put up half the prize money, if I'm not mistaken. Might have changed since then.
They put
all of it?
all the prize money.
Yeah, they do all the prize money, not everything else, as of a couple of years ago.
Okay. We've seen that smoked off. Boomich didn't necessarily need to, but that frag, all of Na'Vi have been hitting up the Krieg aimbots. It feels like they do rip with that fast fire rate assault rifle. Poison, there's another example. Orp versus Krieg, and it costs Flamey just a second of his time.
They can't handle these one-on-one duels. Like the Orp is designed to dissuade them from making their way out towards A, take a few players down with him. His positioning, I have to be honest with you, the angle wasn't great there. It actually favored the Krieg. He had no fallback plan. He didn't have a tight angle. Just in the open, exposed to flashbangs, unless he nails a perfect shot, which was available to him. And he is going to go down with one at the very most. So it doesn't work out. They have to save weapons again. Simple is on the hunt, and he's going towards B, isn't he?
I am very scared for Complexity in this moment right here. This is not the man you want hunting you down and moving at that last moment.
You could see his floppy hat.
Yeah.
This is what nightmares are made of, having this man hunting you down, I'm telling you.
Oh, dear. We are going to have Simple on the hunt, unsuccessful. That's the angle I'm talking about there. You're exposed to the flashes. Normally a deeper angle, like Kenny S will be playing like 6 feet behind the corner. So if you do get flashing it to the safety of the wall and have a bit of a tight angle as they actually cross over, he was quite close to the corner itself and in the open. would have liked a little bit more of a passive angle. Goes to the scout this time. Things are getting desperate out here as we see Electronic run down towards from Team Spawn. And the shot from Simple doesn't connect, but he has shown presence. Got enough space to actually repeat this.
Oh, the molly's not deep enough.
Smoke will prevent his efforts, though.
So that's 4 CTs early A, dealing with what is typically 4 Ts early A. So can't complain too much about that one.
Slower pace there. Go on,
I'm not going to lie. I came into this game expecting Complexity to take the second map after what we saw in Inferno. I know it was close. I know it was a 16-14, but Complexity just looked like the much better team.
Well, this is the thing. I feel like Dust 2 lends itself to a looser playstyle and playing on the fly and making sure you hit your shots. And that's why players like JW will comment on it and say this is why their favorite map is and why Simple and Electronic can show us what they're really made of. And if you just give them a few heads, bit of spaceport with the smokes, and you can just go to town. With these Kriegs especially, doing God's work out there. B-Split looking likely at this point. They've shown the same smoke towards Catwalk, just to pull some rotations in, put the fear of God in towards Complexity. Well, they finish up, though. 40 seconds here. Back in towards shot. They keep destroying this A site. Same smoke again. Keeping them guessing.
These B defenders have been put on ice the entire game, so I'm hoping within the last couple of rounds, Na'Vi go over there and give them some action.
There's the B-Split. They've changed it up.
Config can hear it. He knows this is a little out of the ordinary. And Obo's done well to find Simple, and now Config with 1.5. Perfecto left all to his own devices now. Good damage inflicted onto Obo. He does not have the bomb, and that's going to be a problem. It's in middle, and with 7 seconds left, it's going to be a question of dying off before the time. He does.
Big kill for Obo, by the way, and considering their finances, he needed to keep that Krieg in hand. They've only got 2 Kriegs, an AK-47, and some money going forward. Obo can drop the AWP. If he actually goes down there, that's a massive deal, so well played to him.
See it from his POV as well. Gets the frag onto Simple. That was the crucial one because it enabled Config to actually go in for the remainders. Gets his onto Electronic, and that's the round. Big stuff from Complexity. 4 is not quite enough, but
6 would be.
6 would be.
Yeah, it's a T-sided map.
They've done the 4-man A-Lean again, guys, and this was like a quick mid to B.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Your Fotis in.
You said they're on ice, man. I mean, it's going to be very difficult to defend should they commit. It's only Obo at this moment in time. But look, already they've managed to react to this accordingly. No one was home, and now Config's got a cross.
Oh, that was such a ballsy play, though. There's a player already there. You can see the spam shot suggesting Electronic's not in this position. Blade makes a hook line and sinker, but he checks it. Unreal. We'll see them get the second frag of the round. It looked like that was enough. So the reason he's spamming that smoke is to suggest we're behind this. We're trying to just do some damage. It's just a default here. And Obo, he's getting some confidence now, Chad. That's a great shot.
With the save Krieg, you highlighted it. It was a big for him to keep it in his grasp. But now, well, it is making short work of Boomich. A double kill will be the 5th for Complexity. 6 will work. The words that left our mouth.
What's the money going to be left here in this last round? The lost bonus they're going to have, I believe, will be $1,900. Going into that next round. So they'll have enough for a buy for sure. Perfecto on 3,500 right now. Simple, similar story. If Flamey can save the Krieg, that would actually be more ideal because he can't buy up much more. He's $700 and he has a Molotov and flashbang combo already. We'll see what he decides to do. It looks like he's opted to try and give this one a go. At least try and get the bomb down. Heading up towards short. Molotov down, and so is he.
Guys, when was the last round you remember Simple getting a kill?
Let me tell you, I remember saying, wow, he's on 11 for 3.
Yeah, he's definitely called off a lot. I'm going
4
back
deaths
through
in a row,
now.
I guess, I would say.
I don't think he's had a kill since round 5.
Well, he's got the long spawn now, Chad. The best spawn he can get on Dust 2 on T side. Stay on board with Simple here. He'll jump over this initial wall. He'll be going for the pick towards the long corner, and you have to send the CT with the best spawn to challenge this. Poison taking it upon himself with a flashbang over. I don't think Simple's going to get there in time. It seems to be taking forever for him to get to that position. Flame will recover the AWP, and at this point, it's a 5-on-4. They get 9-6. The way this started, there was 6-0 down.
This is great.
This would be phenomenal. They would actually be feeling great after this.
And I can still not believe that Simple has not had a kill in this game since the 5th round. He has not had any more impact, at least in terms of the scoreboard, since then.
Well, there's certainly a correlation between Simple not fragging and Na'Vi not winning rounds. You do see Config continuing to stand his ground here by doors. There's a lot of enemies around the corner. Does manage to weasel his way away. They have the man advantage, and it looks like they could lose it. The spray from Electronic, I rarely see double door spray do that much damage. It's on to Blame F, chucks in down, good 70 or so damage. Oh, and a taste of his own medicine is Config, who does the same to Electronic.
Final round of this first half, and we have got the bomb in towards the B tunnels here, Perfecto. So they're going to show the same smokes, flashes towards A, trying to pull them on that side of the map, but the bomb does join them.
That's so strange that he was on his own at all with the bomb. You never want that. You never want to be on your own with the bomb, especially in enemy territory.
That was walking through tons.
So what will be the A finish? He's done the CD spawn smoke, so this could be the drop position from Boomich, but he's so low, joined by Electronic, given the AWP, not known to be a sniper, and they're held off for another 7 seconds now. They're going to have to go for a Blame F, completely blind, will get one. That's the low HP Boomich, and at this stage, I don't see a world where Na'Vi win this round. Rush good for at least 1 kill. He needs it, to be honest, considering 3 and 10.
Time
8 seconds,
well.
1 kill will do it. That's all he needs.
And this is it. That's the frag he was waiting for. Rush confirms it. And this all started with Poison's frag onto Simple. Huge from Rush, a nice multi-kill to wrap it all up. But Complexity, they do it. They bounce back from a 0-7 start. Look at the highlights. They all got ignited by a quick 3K from Poison. We're going to quickly catch our breath, and we'll see if Dust 2 is the final map of this series.
Take a dive before you dry off. It's the only way to live. You can't be without it, baby. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Try before you sign off. This shit can kill you sick. brawlstars. It's the only way to live. Fancy cars and the smiles of the ocean. Purple sky, let that night come with peace. Anywhere you wanna be. Anywhere you wanna be. Yeah, yeah. Hold up your sign, though. They ain't count on that. They ain't count on that. They ain't count on that. Show what you gon' do. They don't want all that. They don't want all that. They don't want all that. Pick up, I know to be right on. Cause no one really gives. Don't look back, I'll keep your eyes on. Long ago. Doesn't matter what it gon' cost. Never gave a shit. Real soul. Let it take a hit. Hey. Who's getting high on emotion? Look around. People fight all their life for some peace. Yeah. Look around. Fancy cars and the smiles of the ocean. Purple sky, let that night come with peace. Anywhere you wanna be. Anywhere you wanna be. Yeah. Hold up your sign, though. They ain't count on that. They ain't count on that. They ain't count on that. Show what you gon' do. They don't want all that. They don't want all that. They don't want all that. Take off.
Dust 2, it's our second map, and Complexity are already back in the driving seat. We thought they were out. We thought they were in the car park. They were buying snacks. They weren't even in the race. Well, it turns out the second half of the first half, they did manage to solve a lot of their issues.
They absolutely did. Poison was MIA. He hadn't turned up to this series at all, but he lit the fire beneath the team with that 4-kill sequence towards the A bomb site.
Yep.
Then Blame F coming online with the 1 versus 3 as well. It saved the day. It got them in a position where they could 2-0 this, Chad. I'm starting to believe once again.
There's definitely a chance, and as we like to say, with this pistol round, anything is possible. We've got the GG.bet odds on screen for you right here, and this one, well, they think it's as close as what we do. Na'Vi, hyper-aggressive, pushing up towards top of Mizzle, and Poison is standing and waiting behind this barrel. The flash will come out. He's going to pre-spawn the spot, and actually Rush will save him, and Config will find one of his own. This aggressive play from Na'Vi's falling apart.
Here we go then. They've taken the big man down simple towards shore.
Still no kills since round 5.
That's a good point.
It's 11 rounds dry for Simple. That's mad.
Yeah, and that's just going to add to his frustration. This is a huge pistol round considering the scoreline. 9-6, you win this, potentially you'll tie it up. 5 on 3. It's never safe until the bomb's down and you found all the kills. They are going to give one up, though. No one's watching towards shore, and here we go.
Okay.
Boomich will finally be silenced here, but I feel like there's still a few more twists and turns. How has it gone down to Config being alone? Why is no one watching shore? They've all got their backs turned, walking in towards upper B.
There's a chance here, though, the P250.
Flamey takes that fight. Config's having a bit of an issue, and Flamey pulls it back. Na'Vi respond. Despite losing the first 2 frags, they win the pistol. That looked perfect for Complexity.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they felt like all 4 players had to make the same maneuver. With a minute on the clock, you've got a 5 on 3. You could have just held up, wait for the reactions, and then made your play, made sure it's safe, have all the holes plugged, and then made their way through. It wasn't a bad call going towards B. You have to go somewhere, but why is no one watching the extremities of the map? How is he looking at 3 players walking with their knives out towards the B tunnels?
Yeah, I mean, credit to Boomich for hitting the shots as well. I mean, Poison, again, he managed to find a frag despite his low HP. But now the force buy from Complexity. This is where this Dust 2 could be a quick second half.
Yeah, that's just not good enough for them. A 5 on 3. We know they consider themselves the underdog going into this one, and that might be enough to topple them. Luckily, though, 4 MP9s here for Na'Vi. Only 1 rifle in the form of the FAMAS for Flamey. Might be the difference maker.
With these nades in Complexity's hands here, they're just going to do a bit of a default spread, and now congregate back through T-spawn, collecting themselves over towards long. Potentially just going for a very simple cross strategy here, but first of all, they have to get past Boomich. He's going to throw his smoke out. That'll bait the T's to push forward. Can he defend?
Looks like he's having no issues on the first. Perfect flash from Electronic, and then making it as difficult as possible for the rest of them to find him and flush him out. The flashes are decent, but Electronic long range peppering away at them. The scout from Poison a little late to the party. He was focused on Boomich, and now already Electronic finding another one. The numbers favoring Na'Vi in a rather absurd statistic now extended by Simple. Yeah, it's just going to be the hopeless commit to the spray, or the taps, I guess, with the Deagle. But 11 for Na'Vi, and that's going to be an eco for Complexity. So things are going to get a little sticky, icky.
And Simple's back on the board. So he's finally found himself a frag after what was a bit of a drought there.
Just the nick of time as well. Full eco for Complexity now. 12-6 written all over this one. They're not really going to invest anything. Full eco. Got a short push going. See whether you can get that bomb down. Is pretty much your only bet. You got
This
a
has to be
Deagle
one of
Robo.
the hardest maps to be full eco on, wouldn't you say?
Yep, because all you can really do is get up towards short. Hopefully they kill 4 of you and your planter can still make it up towards the bomb site itself.
Spaghetti-O. Simple pushing up long.
Yeah, they're getting caught with the pants down more often than not here. They were watching towards long. Fair enough, they only had Glock, so... Well, there's a kill at least, but it's only the MP9 finding them. So lots of money farmed there for Simple. He's got $9,000 here. Does he hold on to the MP9 or throw it over to Electronic and say, you can have this trash? I want the orb.
Thinking about it.
There you go.
Gives it to Boomich, all right.
Well, Boomich has been looking rather spicy with it.
He's got the best long spawn you can get on the CD side. As mentioned before, the long system, you can't just say, you're always doing this, you're doing that. Whoever has the best spawn in today's game has to be the one there taking the challenge at the start. Ideally, you're Orpa, and he's got the best spawn, so he'll definitely go and look towards those long doors. But a smoker's going to land, but he might beat all of this.
He does, and he doesn't connect the shot. Blame good moves, admittedly, but uncharacteristic miss from Simple. He did have quite the dry spell as well. As Chad highlighted, it was 12 rounds straight throughout this map where he went without a frag.
pretty unusual not to be saying Simple's name every single round. So to have that many without him doing a whole lot.
Yeah, he's got 16 still. I mean, that's kind of saying something.
Remember, it's Nuke to close things down here if required, which is looking likely, all things considered. Very good map for Na'Vi. Complexity, we don't have a massive sample size from them. Smoke down from Boomich. Given the MP9, they've got plenty of money to upgrade those, but looking at the bigger picture, if you can win the more important rounds of these lesser weapons, then it's a massive asset financially going forward. And these guys can make it work for sure.
Are Complexity doing their best Na'Vi impression right now?
It's the same setup as you've got one holding towards B tunnels, 4 in towards that pit position, and you're just waiting for your opportunity for them to use their utility, for you to get your smokes down towards a crossover. You can't really fall back and go short now. You're pretty much fully committed.
Yeah, and they just had 2 different guns down long as well. They had the AK and the Krieg.
So this is what we're talking about. When you hold up for too long,
the timing here.
CTs will get a massive advantage. They start pushing the map, but Config's ready for it. Big kill now, making the way towards A. The MP9 can only do so much. Can Simple do more?
He's burning.
He is burning, but he normally hits these, Alex. There's the one. But is it going to be enough? 20 seconds as the MP9 tries to deny it all. Can he try and pick up the weapon? Is that what he's going for? I think it is. Not going to see it. All he can try and do is deny the plant. Boomich will have to sit back and wait.
Wow, truly a taste of their own medicine. You get to see a Na'Vi T side versus Na'Vi. And even the config, rotation, it's exactly the role Perfecto fulfills. Speaking of the devil, finds Flamey and confirms the save. Obo onto Boomich, who was just trying to be a bit of a ninja.
Those kills right there are important for Complexity, and Na'Vi probably should have been considering that, because even though Simple and Electronic, they farmed a bit of cash there, well, even if Perfecto can survive right now. Look, the flow-on effects of this, it's not immediate, but it will happen very quickly if Complexity can string 1 or 2 more rounds together.
The fact they've kept 4 players alive, it bodes very well for the rounds going forward. They need to win another one. Remember, we had MP9s. If FAMAS is still there, there's still plenty of cash on the Na'Vi side. This is a huge round. They can still purchase the AWP. Perfecto or Electronic can drop it. I would say probably the former, considering Perfecto already has the M4 here. So he'll throw over that for now. Electronic does drop the sniper, just to note, so he'll require another M4 here thrown over, which will come through. Final buy for Na'Vi. If they give this one up, Complexity back in the game. If not, they're back to an eco, 13-7 down. I dare say that would be it. This could decide everything for them.
Perfectly painting the picture there, Henry G. And already Rush gonna go down. Perfecto, good trade. Right. Continuing though, it's getting a bit hectic. Simple's missed more shots. Obo does find the frag, but so does Boomich. His nade lands at his feet just a second later. It's a good smoke deployed by Poison to try and retrieve that bomb. But does he want to do this alone? He's going to have to. There's a gap for Boomich to fight. Oh, what an adjustment from Poison. Suddenly, they've got a shot at this. We know how important this game is, or rather this round, and Poison's given them another shot, another bite.
Yeah. It's Boomich. Positioned himself well, but it was well handled from Poison. Config now, a chance to backstab towards long. One player's Electronic, but he's at the platform position. He cannot be seen from the A-bomb side. As you can see, it's a very uncommon position in CSGO. Historically, has been very prevalent. We'll see whether it works out from on top of that long box. No one's checking this, Chad.
I'm not sure if he's going to even consider this whatsoever.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't even be aware CT could get up there at this point of the round. You wouldn't even be thinking about it. It's a guaranteed kill in my book for Electronic, but let's see if Config has other ideas.
He's not even. Oh, he did. He cleared it. I can't believe it.
That's insane. Well played.
And that's the round.
Respect.
They still have to cross long. Flamey's still waiting for this. He could hit 2 absolute bangers here.
He would have to, as long as he gets one. Oh, the flash is decent. They've spotted him as well. Poison, you've got the bomb. What are you up to?
Get your booty on the side.
Plan for short and get the job done. Let's not finish.
Molly CT after you're done. And eat your veggies.
That's all that had to be done. No kit for Flamey. He's got a nade for short. That's about it. He'll throw that momentarily, I'm sure. Poison really does fancy the challenge, doesn't he?
He's giving Flamey a chance.
Both are.
No, and that's a terrible way to let it slip away. Flamey tapping at the heads as they peek.
That's rubbish from Poison, I have to say it. Like, he's peeking for all the wrong reasons. You've given him a window there. You've painted yourself into a corner. You've forced Config to come out as well because you've made the mistake. He just needs to hold Gandalf. He got one towards short. Flamey's alone. He can't handle both of you with the bomb halfway gone. How has he got 2 kills before even getting near the C4, Chad?
I have absolutely no idea.
Oh,
they did all the hard
so
work.
hard.
They did all the hard
just
work
rubbish
there.
from Poison. You can't peek like that. You got to wait. These rounds are too important. He might have just thrown the game with that play.
Yeah, look, we need to once again reinforce this. This matchup right here for both of these teams is absolutely everything. Both of them right now sitting at the bottom of the barrel of Group B. If they want any chance to qualify for the next stage of Pro League, this is a must-win game.
Yeah, I think that's what Na'Vi reminded themselves after the first concede on Inferno. Well, now they're three rounds away from taking us to Nuke in this high-stakes game of Counter-Strike.
Look, if they get this one, Complexity could be back on track, but they've just made the task so much harder for themselves right here. That was almost a given round. That felt like it was done. As soon as the bomb was planted, as soon as that molly dropped, it should have been, that's all she wrote right there.
Yeah, it was, it's just unbelievable. That's the way they've given it up. After Config had to dig them out of the grave.
When we talk about, Alex, on desk segments, and we say, you know, as clutches, you need to make mistakes for people to be able to win them in a lot of scenarios, that is a clear example, right? Flamey can only hit the shots that are gifted to him, but he didn't have to work hard to make those frags happen.
Didn't even touch the bomb.
Yeah, when he isolated Poison, Config did the right thing because he wanted to trade off of his teammate. But Poison with the AWP is unable to react as quickly as what Config is with the rifle.
Yeah. Got a second.
Good nade.
Perfecto is going to finish off what that nade started, and Config into the site trying desperately to keep his team afloat. They will be able to get across with that bomb. If I say that with bated breath, my goodness. Not bad with the flick.
I like this from Rush.
Go A, Rush.
Go, yeah, he just has to go A now. Knife out, go A.
He's got the biggest brain in the world if he does this.
Oh, it's throbbing.
They could still get in the back. I think these Simple still finds him. He'll spot him.
He's going to make it. Is he going to make it? He's made it.
Oh, Rush. Smooth enough moves to get the bomb down on A. Let's see if he can make up for his previous loss of the 1v2. That's so... Oh! Oh, my God, that's risky. And they get the info, get the kill. And that is going to be 14 for Na'Vi.
Damn, Rush. I like the efforts there. Had to hit that first shot, but he's up against Simple and Boomich. You don't miss many, and there will be Simple recovering the obviously Boomich is waiting for the defuse there while he does so. Another clutch scenario, and one that doesn't work out for them. In towards B, seemed like the trades are working in their favor, but it was left down to Rush there. Had to make his way towards the A side. Did well to get the bomb planted, but time is running out now. Lost bonus still there for them. Still another buy with the bomb being planted, but it looks like Na'Vi might have just confirmed themselves a third map, which is Nuke.
Oh, the game feels so close, but those clutches, these last two rounds back to back, that's the difference maker. Rush, I understand the repeat there. You know, in that situation when you're down, I'll give that to you. A lot of people would probably critique that and say, why is he repeaking? He planned it for long. You know, he doesn't know what nades they have. He doesn't know if they have a smoke. He's trying to equalize it into a one-on-one. So that there, look, I'll give him that one. And I love the brain play to go from all the way from the B site to A through CT.
It's all he could do. He threaded the needle there. It was quite nice there, I have to say. But it did give them a plant at least, Jad, which means they get a buy here. They get an extra $800 per player for getting the C4 down, and that's reflected on their current buy. You can see it wouldn't have been great.
Scuffed, isn't it?
They limp in with the scout. They still have the rifles, but you got Rush over, no utility left over at 1:30 here. They have used a little bit to get up towards short, of course. But do or die time for Complexity here, on Dust 2 at least.
What's the strategy now? Bombs outside T-tons. And Flash is perfect for the frag onto Flamey. Now, there we go. That's the opening move.
Openings haven't been the problem. It's the closing of the doors that's Complexity. Maybe they were brought up in a barn or a tent. But tents still have flaps you got to zip.
Yeah. Close the flap. Perfecto. Struggling to tap instead. Just a loose spray into one. That's just simply not good enough for the B site. We know how effective it is, or rather how difficult to retake it is. But it does seem like Boomich has got at least some sort of plan. Perhaps it is just going to be a containment procedure for the T's exiting.
Yeah, taking away the guns would be one of the best options right here for Na'Vi. There's no need to rush this situation, but a part of me feels, and look, it's late. I've lost my mind. There's a lot of different things contributing to this feeling right now. But if Complexity can just tighten up these late round mistakes, I still feel that this game has a bit of...
bit more to it?
A bit to go. I think what I've seen from Complexity in terms of their approach, in terms of what they've been able to pull off, it's been quite good. It's just the finishing of some of these situations that has been the undoing.
I mean, this is what Blame F was talking about in his interview. Second, that's a very good flash, but there was so many on the other side. Na'Vi, they've got balls of steel And we will see a broken CT side.
A bit of respite here for Complexity, perhaps. You can see the money's actually quite low on the CT side, but they did save the AWP and the Krieg. I dare say with the round buffer they have, they might just buy into this one. Time will tell. Could just go for the partial as well. Looks to be the latter with a Desert Eagle purchased by Perfecto and Flamey. They're looking at the bigger picture, which is what you like to see. And a few shots fired off by Poison. Up and down game from so far. Some very impressive moments, some questionable ones as well. Simple. First shot rattled off this time, not connecting. Up to 20 kills now.
Aggressive from Perfecto. That will be the opener. And a chance from Obo, but he now knows where one of the two weapons resides. Now they know where both are. And Simple, he's done enough. Make ridiculous re-peek into middle. I'm not quite sure how he got away with the second frag. Just backing away in a straight line, perfect sight line for the AWP. These preserved rifles have done all they needed to. 2 stars come in with 2 rifles. And 15 is now 2 frags away. It's Poison and Rush.
This is still doable. I know they picked up an extra weapon, but it's still very doable right now. Long control is given to Complexity. There's a smoke and 2 Molotovs in play. This deep one towards CT spawn will draw the attention, but as we can see right now, guess who's ahead of it? The Undertaker himself.
Smoke CT spawn. Looking for that map point. Simple. Looks almost certain to remove Rush from the equation here. It's a simple finish as well for BUDET, as we'll get things up and running for Na'Vi here for that third map. 15-8. Just a matter of time, if you ask me. I don't think we'll be seeing 7 rounds in a row.
Yeah, now it is. I felt if they could hold them at 14 for a while, Complexity could have battled back into this. Here's the second.
This is what I wanted to see.
Doors.
I mean, just configs, when the call is AWP CT, you're not expecting that AWP to be pushing through the smoke that was just thrown.
No, look, I know we said it's not a force field, but at least it should offer up some level of respect. They're Simple with absolutely none in that scenario. And now Complexity, well, it's just a matter of how long until they have to pack up shop.
Prepare for nuke. 7 rounds in a row. It's a tall order. It's exactly how Na'Vi started this game. See if they can get a repeat. Perfecto struggling on B. Good damage. And perhaps enough for Flamey to finish. That was a healthy player, but Rush's pre-fire is good. Catches him on the jiggle. Blame in middle wins his duel. No, he didn't. Hang on a second. It was electronic, actually. I assumed he would go down. He only got cut down to 42.
Such low HP, though. This retake's still on. Oh, Rush, you gotta be careful, my friends. Makes his way to the platform. Good Molotov, though. BUDET will have to extinguish it. That smoke would have been valuable for this retake. Still with a good chance. Bomb not there at the halfway point. Flashbang goes in. That's the cue for the players to make their way through. That's a good shot from BUDET. Just needs a couple more where that came from.
Poison's actively fighting. He's been peaked, double peaked, in fact. He can't quite deal with it. They'll check config together. He has to be so precise. And BUDET, a fantastic performance from the in-game leader again, secures the map. Na'Vi will take us to 3, and it's confirmed as the defuse puts 16 on the board. Complexity, sure. Valiant comeback in the first half, but a couple of oopsies haunting them in the second.
Chasing love in an empty bar. Pour a drink till I make it past. The midnight hour seems to come and go, but I know. Walk on up with a drink in hand, sipping mixers 'cause you can. And all the lights begin to switch on. You're chasing the light, holding on for life, feeling the high. Chasing the light, chasing the light. Chasing the light, chasing the light, holding on for holding on for light, feeding the high.
Group B, day 4, final game. It's the hot one, and it's delivering in the prefix. We do see map 2 go Dust 2 and Na'Vi's way. It was going to be a tall task for Complexity to overcome when he saw Electronic firing on all cylinders with that T-side Krieg. And in fact, some of the highlights are here will be a perfect demonstration of what this guy was up to.
Yeah, he was putting on a bit of a clinic here on Dust 2, I have to say. Funny enough, it was the same two names at the bottom of the scoreboard, Flamey and Perfecto there, who didn't perform on Inferno, but the other three certainly stepped up. It was an absolutely blistering start here. They got out of the gates with a 7-0 start, but things did start to change very quickly. Complexity did find some form with a few key clutches, Chad.
Yeah, look, the 1v3 by Blame, that was huge. That was like almost kickstarting their comeback. Poison was starting to hit some shots with the AWP. But it's the second half is where I just want to draw that attention, right? It wasn't just the one round. Obviously, that was a bit of a blunder by Poison and Config. But there was a couple of situations where they were clear favorites or they should have had advantages, and they just weren't able to take advantage of those. And that's why I think Complexity found themselves getting this beat down.
It's the pistol in the second half that stands out for me the most.
Sure.
You remember they had a 5-on-3
right.
lead, and everyone forgets about the extremities of the map and the possibility of a flank. Instead of slowing it down and working out what puzzle pieces they have in front of them, Chad, they threw the box out of the window, smashed it to pieces itself.
That's my approach.
I know, and it doesn't work out usually, and we will see Complexity give the map up. A valiant effort, as Alex mentioned, in the first half to bring it to a 9-6 scoreline, but ultimately Na'Vi looking very comfortable towards the end.
Yeah, and that pistol round, it definitely did echo and haunt them for a while. In fact, this is another round that will haunt them. Poison gets that frag, and then proceeds to have that 2v2, or rather, 2v1 versus Flamey with the bomb down. They get caught out and finished off by Flamey. And of course, as Chad highlighted it during the cast, it was all about those unforced errors.
That was even after Configure walked all the way up cat, all the way through A, walked all the way back down long, and then cleared Electronic in one of those off angles that we were talking about during the cast, right? They did all the hard work in that round, and then they still dropped the ball. With Nuke on the cards next, now the balance has kind of tipped back the other way for me.
More tactical map, though. Won't be getting ran over by the Kriegs at every choke point.
Well, look, on this one, obviously we have to talk about it when we get to the pre-match for this. They have to knife for sides. So if Na'Vi gets to start on the CT side, that flap I was talking about might be closed.
Well, listening to you already starting to put your thinking cap on around Nuke does incite me to get this quick break out of the way. We do have to talk about our third map. So we're going to quickly go ahead and put a bow on Dust 2. When we return, we'll be talking all about our third and final map of the day. Tell your friends if they're missing the action. It's all coming back when we return.
And now just the bomb. Left to do it all. Config, here's the flank. He's going to go back. Face crack dead as well. That opens up a room. He could go 8. But he's been spotted, and Config has a chance to ace this round. Perfecto, he's going to fast long play. Flashes good. They line up. It's 3. All of the frags.
One cherry in the foot and made this doable, but Electronic suddenly from nowhere, from main, has been a real pain. The triple kill for Electronic.
He wasn't the classic nerdy computer kid in school. He was one of the ones to get a girlfriend first and a very social person.
Typical for Finn is that he is very determined.
Ist egal, ob es jetzt beim Kartennis spielen ist oder beim Tischtennis oder beim Computer, er gibt nicht auf.
What he really wants is to win a major. It's his dream, and therefore it's also my dream for him to get that.
Cool, right? Want to know where I got it? Well, look, go to cs.money. It's a trade platform and a marketplace at the same time. Just choose, click, and get. Good luck, bro.
Everybody loves an underdog. Who needs to be liked?
Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
Charge up your game with excitement. Highest odds on the market. Take what's rightfully yours with GG.bet.
The future waits for no one, so we refuse to wait for it. Today, battles are waged in nanoseconds, and planes are piloted from the other side of the world. The future's not coming, it's already here. Join us and be the future.
Tear you down from your undeserved throne. We can take your conviction. We are many one. You may call it a virus, but we call it the antidote. It's an answer to silence. The future is here to revolt. So high from here, you can see the world. Aren't we all insistent to be small? Yeah.
Dropping the scene, I feel lucky, yeah. Got them watching from Paris to popping, yeah. With this music was lurking, now I'm attacking. Now with the
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, Gaming Malta, Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, CS Money, MSI, Air Force, GG Bet, and ESEA.
Good evening, good morning, wherever you're watching from. The Pro League is back and this slew of Counter-Strike continues. The third and final map is Nuke, and I've got my Counter-Strike Brainiacs holding my hand through this whole operation, Chad Burchill and Henry Greer. You may know them as Sponge and Henry G. I'm Machine, and we are ready to talk about map 3.
Oh, we absolutely are.
That's a furrowed brow. That's a man that's ready to go.
I'm so ready, Chad. A bit of Nuke to close things out here. It's a bit of a specialist map for Na'Vi. It's been part of their pool, not for the greatest amount of time, but more recently we're seeing it more and more big events and finding some good results behind it. But as we said, Complexity, a more tactical team. They've been watching the demos. Do you think they're going to be ready for this?
Yeah, I do. And in the Pro League so far, Complexity actually played against Big. Nuke was one of the maps which they were able to pick up over there with a scoreline of 16-9. They had the luxury, though, in that matchup of starting on the CT side, as that was Big's map pick. So
Knifing
they have
for
to
size?
knife in the third to decide, exactly who's going to be starting where. And look, if Complexity start on the CT side, I think they have a real shot in this map. However, if they start on the T side and Na'Vi put up the wall, we get a blistering start from Simple and Electronic again, where both individuals had over 100 ADR within the first 5 rounds of the game.
Yeah.
Then I start to worry.
And if Katowice is anything to go by, I dare say Flamey is the best ramp player in the game right now.
Oh, that's right, the Galil Ace.
Yeah. So
well, the Krieg as well.
Yeah, the Krieg as well.
So yeah, he hasn't turned up for 2 maps now. This is the third decider. If he comes online, I'm gone for Na'Vi. But if we have Perfecto and Flamey not turning up, Complexity can still take this one.
And actually, I'll build on your point, Chad. I also think another factor of it is, it's just as the word Krieg came out of my mouth, I do think that's this map in particular is one of the biggest offenders for the damage you can inflict on yourself by losing those Kriegs and getting them to the CT side early.
That's a very good point. Look, there are a bunch of details which we all would have downloaded into our brains, and we probably won't forget them for some time, from Na'Vi over there in Katowice, right?
Yeah.
Boomich rotating lower, dropping that smoke, right? In towards Secret. He would use that time and time again. We've even seen him getting pop flashed into that. Flamey's the secondary rotator who comes on down to help him out. You've got the duo of Simple and Electronic as the caretakers of Yard, right? Simple's job is to help Yard at the start or be in that ladder position ready to rotate wherever he needs. And Electronic, normally out playing behind his own smokes, being quite a little gremlin. So, look, I'm trying to find a gap here that Complexity can look to exploit. It's going to be quite difficult. I think we might see a slow game with lots of late top hits with misdirection in there, because they need to string this Na'Vi roster out on their CT side. Or it might be a tough one to get through the wall of individuals, who is looking better, let's be honest.
It's interesting to see Na'Vi's first death wins. That is the Electronic and Simple effect. They're closing in on 30% first death wins. That's a stark contrast to most. Complexity, for example, were around 19. So you can really see that this is a team that, despite losing those early advantages, we've seen it in this series even, Henry, that when they get these early advantages, it's still not a guarantee.
I feel like they're inside their own heads a bit too much. It's just the presence. I can't really state this enough. When you've got Simple firing off on all cylinders, Electronic running on the map, everyone's inside their own head so much. You know they're going to be pushing around, and you're just overthinking things. You're not feeling your own self, and it can fall apart very quickly. I saw that a few times there, especially in those 1v2s, 1v3s that were going down time and time again. Nuke, though, I hope Complexity can step up, because they're really going to have to here. They're a tactical team. They need all 5 players with the skill they have available to them. That potential needs to be realized.
Yeah. And I mean, we will remind you one more time, if your friend just poked you on the shoulder, said, yo, check this out, some cool Counter-Strike, well, shout out to your friend. And B, this is it. Do or die, sink or swim. If you do not win this game, your chances of advancing to the next stage of competition disappear. It's down to Nuke. One map to rule them all.
And I do believe that we will have Complexity starting on that CT side after a successful knife campaign.
Starts with a simple P250. They're doing it again. The Superman on the T side. Keep your eyes on that prize. He's taking it outside, of course, reminding you as well that with P250, you double your damage fall off. Those long-range fights, you've essentially got a FAMAS now in terms of how that bullet works at range. We do see Blame getting a little bit of information. He already is going to be tested quite significantly. A smoke towards Mini, but he punishes Perfecto. Straight up first death for their underperformer.
Yeah, Perfecto has been having a rough series thus far. We get into it now. Na'Vi will be very happy with that. But over towards ramp is where their second port of call was to find an opening pick. Config's nade will land. It'll do a lot of damage. He'll even get a kill. And now we have a 3-on-5. We saw one of these lost just there over in Dust 2, but the roles were reversed. No, actually, it wasn't. This was the exact scenario.
Exactly like this, Chad.
Oh, 5 on 3 though, not for long. That's the bomb going down. Complexity. They fluff the pistol on Dust 2. Surely they don't give this one up. A 4 on 2 situation. They've been battered and bruised. Rushed down to 4, but he swings up first. I don't mind this for Complexity. It does give a chance as the headshots though, but that should surely close things down here. Big kill from Obo. If he gave that up, Blame F as low on the other side of the map as well. Certainly a risk as they swung through there, but I didn't mind it at all. The fact they just stopped them actually planting the bomb, getting anywhere near it or getting comfortable for some sort of rebuttal on the T side is a nice work from Complexity, and they're going to find themselves with rifles, scouts, MP9s, and surely the eco for Na'Vi as they plan to get the AKs out in the third.
Look how much damage Electronic did in that pistol. 300 ADR essentially. That's nearly 3 kills. You can see how close that dink was on the Glock. Must have been Blame F. Straight out. No, tucking in towards Secret instead. Squeaky.
This would be one of the milking nades situations you would assume here from Na'Vi. We can see that they haven't really invested into too much. There's no armor behind any of the individuals on their side, no utility to work off of. All they're hoping for here is that somebody offers themselves up to the god of Counter-Strike and gives them a free deagle kill to get the ball rolling.
God, human sacrifice freaks me out, man. Isn't it weird that we as people for like hundreds of years were just straight up killing each other because we thought some guy in the sky was not going to kill our crops if we didn't?
Weren't we throwing people off of like cliffs to prove if they were witches or not?
Oh, we did. No, we drowned them, and if they drowned, that meant they weren't a witch.
Well,
think about that one for a second.
I guess we proved it.
Wow, she's floating. She's a witch. I told you.
Well, Obo for now will be just getting the one. Not the best effort, I have to say, considering there's no armor there, but still, looks like Poison's making up for the scout connecting, making light work of the unarmored Na'Vi players making their way towards ramp. Remember, it's not a bomb site. He can fall back if he takes a bullet to the face.
I just had a joke to do with the whole witch thing, so I'm going to pretend like we just finished that.
Yeah, the witches and the drowning.
I'll be like, yeah, my ex-girlfriend couldn't swim. She's a bit of a witch.
Oh, okay. You see what he's done there.
I mean, I'm not sure it's worth revisiting. No, I liked it.
But like,
as an offhand remark, it would have got an exhale through my nose. For sure,
okay, cool,
dude. And that will be Config confirming it. Complexity pocket himself a nice $1,200 in the back pocket of Config with those SMG frags. We'll get to see that Poison S Scout connection as well. Just making sure ramp is under lock and key. The second was the crucial one onto the god of Counter-Strike, as we described him in the same round. But now it's time for the real test.
I would hate being Na'Vi going into the first gun rounds, always like skimping on utility, especially from an in-game leader standpoint, because then I'm like, all right, guys, I need you to hit some shots this round.
What's the call? You can't Molotov hut, you can't do a take as of sorts, and woof, scary stuff. He will fly over the flames and now position himself to deal with anyone that's fancying Squeaky early. Flamey's there for now. This is the lineup I've been trying to get right. It's part of that wall of smokes. There they go, flying through the sky. And you will see that L shape of smokes arriving. It did look like an incendiary was thrown there to create a gap, and I'm not sure if it's worked out. But regardless, no T's will be using them. I say that just as Electronic slipped the net all the way through to Warehouse. Looks like he's going to be checking this. It looks like he's positioning himself to check this as the smoke fades. Electronic has the advantage, but Blame still prevails. That surprises me. I wasn't so expecting that one to go the way of the CTs. Now Complexity still 5 players are standing. They have conceded ramp room, and that's a very big miss.
Yeah, he actually connected. Boomage goes down to 51, and somehow, some way, he cancels back with the Krieg to the face. Actually, the AK-47, they go down towards lower. It's going to be Obo now, as he'll try and defend with the M4 in hand. They are swarming his position. Good for 1.5. The dink is delivered. It gives him a fighting chance in the round here. Softens up Boomage for this MP9, which will be swinging around first. Boomage needs to be very careful as Config encroaches on his position. It's a be difficult one though. Has to pre-fire this, and Boomage got the angle, takes him down. That should be the round, as we'll see Simple chime in as well. Just Blame F remaining. No real look into the round, and this is going to be Na'Vi giving up the first 2, but we did say round 3 is where they'll bring those AK-47s out, and my God, have they ever worked.
Boomage again with the fragging. Fragging in-game leaders. So very many of them in the server tonight. And we're looking at Complexity's counterpart, saving his Krieg. He'll be saving that, of course. Can't buy it on the CT side. It is a T weapon, 1-shot, headshot, and a scope, which of course makes the defense really have a leniency towards that weapon and preserving it.
curious if they will go for a buy behind this, because BlameF could drop the Krieg over to one of his teammates, or keep it for himself and drop an M4 over to one of his teammates. They have enough to scrape together a buy. It wouldn't necessarily be a full buy. It would be a serviceable buy. But look, the question is right now: do they want to go for a full-on game plan? Do they know that they need certain utility to deal with this T side of Na'Vi? And the answer is very swiftly a yes. But if Blame could find 1 or 2 kills with this, there is always a chance.
And this roof does seem to be only really seeing more action since the CT Kriegs came out. You can jump across those chimneys. Blame was just elevating over the smokes, it seems. For now, the outside smokes are on their way.
They certainly are, Alex. Being deployed now. Deeper outside smokes. Designed to take vision away from the main entrance area. Allow access towards garage or secret. Means you can close out angles close range to the T boxes. Stay as a pack, but wider. Not quite as channeled as you would be with the traditional smokes that lead you towards secrets.
Good nade damage, Perfecto. That landed right on his noggin.
So down they go. With a Blame F. Oh, that's a good flash. Not really sure what's happened there.
Bit late.
Lads, I've got him. The flash is coming. Well, it doesn't really matter either way. No harm, no foul is what we usually say here. And we'll see the Molotov deployed nice and deep there. Towards the double doors, and Blame F, well, he'll be able to take Simple down.
It's a crucial frag.
They should be able to snowball lower now. They know where that saved weapon is. The fear should be a little bit less at this current juncture of the round.
Get a bit more loosey-goosey. Flamey, though, he could go down. Flame's got the perfect angle for that fight, and he will get a second frag.
Both are loose. Both guns are very loose right now.
That's a good point. Oh, a very good point. Config's going to retrieve it. There is no Kevlar. It's worth pointing out this will be 2 unarmored AKs heading towards the retake. And now the bomb's gone in. Two of them are partnered up on window side. No smoke, no kit. Surely no hope.
Surely, Alex. I like the way you've got some bated breath there, as we'll see Electronic and Config go toe-to-toe now. Config comes out on top.
He's done
it! Absolutely is going to be enough here. They've pulled it off. Complexity managing to get the defuse in. He is sticking it with conviction, Chad. It looks like he's absolutely fine. I'll have the 10-second music enabled, surely. And there we have it. The defuse comes in as well.
That all started with the saved Krieg of Blame, right? He gets the kill onto Simple, then Flamey's lurking yard, doing his role, steps on out. Blame kills him as well. At that point, it's a 4-on-3 situation. Those AKs aren't picked up. Na'Vi take their time. Eventually, they get into the bomb site. And then Config, he gets 2. How did he get 2 in that door side? I'm not even sure. Like, look, the flash wasn't good enough. Boomich was able to turn away from that.
Yeah. But there was enough chaos going down that the crosshair of the second player was clearly misplaced. Huge from Blame as well. I think it's impressive that he didn't feel the need to rush lower sight when he knew that there was a chance that that's where Na'Vi had committed. Instead, he stuck around and caught Flamey. Big stuff from the big man, Blame. 3-1. Puts Complexity in a real golden opportunity to take a lead. Blame's continuing. I talked about early CT Kriegs, and we're seeing great evidence to suggest that Na'Vi are being punished for putting this weapon in the Danes' hands.
Well, well, well. An opening kill. But they have been struggling converting these rounds. Blame F. He's got to do better than that. Given an opportunity for a freebie there. A couple of seconds. The window was open. And he can't find the shots required. He will be answered back there. Barely did any damage as well. 4-on-4. 1 minute on the clock here. CT defense. Still alive and kicking. They have incendiaries, flashbangs, and 1 smoke. The AWP poison as well. But Na'Vi looking to make their way towards the upper side. CT vent has been mollied. 3-1 for Complexity so far. Huge round. Both teams are broken financially.
Na'Vi running out of time. Name a more iconic duo.
30 seconds. It has to be ramp, I suppose. Or outside?
There's so much utility.
You're going up.
Okay.
That
20. Config knife out from Perfecto. That's going to look a little silly.
Right down the vent.
I like that.
That doesn't look silly. This looks like 5D chess.
Okay, now the time left actually looks amazing because you'd assume they were going to go towards upper without play. They've actually got down the vents. No one's even anticipated that being a play. You're going to struggle to even go for this one, Chad. You've got no utility left. You dumped it all towards upper. They're repositioned with the Kriegs, 3 of them. Na'Vi in the lower bomb site with Simple, Flamey, and Electronic, the hardest hitting trio in the team as well. This is going to be a difficult one. Surely impossible. But Simple's gone.
Yes. Poison with a chance for Complexity, but Electronic in a prime position for a multi-kill. Looking for the transfer, but trade from Obo is so fast, and Flamey yet to frag. This will be his first. Ooh. Does manage to evade Obo for the second, but the defuse is not going to be easy for him to avoid.
No time.
No time. Gets the frag. Good try. Will not get out.
Wow. Well, that's called thinking on feet, I would say. It was looking woeful for Na'Vi. They were running out of time. They tried outside. They tried lobby. They tried ramp. They pieced it all together, and it wasn't working out for them. They had to commit towards the upper bomb, so they traded out 1 kill, but the smoke was down. They saw the opportunity to get down the Venom. With 10 seconds on the clock, they make their way down. The bomb gets planted in the nick of time, and the CTs had nothing to do with it. They were all towards upper, dumping their flashbang, their smokes, their molotovs. They were so convinced it was an upper attack, and the money. We said it was in a difficult spot, but 2 players had around $5,000, so they have enough for 3 rifles, a pistol, and a scout. They've gone for everything here. It's a huge, huge round once again, and a boost behind the squeaky door. Orange boxes here. Flamey looking for any players transitioning across.
The problem I see here is not buy that Complexity were able to string together, but more so the fact that Blame doesn't have a Krieg to defend that yard.